Perfection. All right, so tonight's webinar is titled Essential Boutique Strategies to Accelerate Your Growth. My tag on Instagram is at the bottom, so if you're not following me on Instagram, definitely follow me. I'm going to do a Q&A session on my stories later on after the webinar. If you follow me already, you know I love using my stories to do Q&A, so definitely follow me if you are not already, because some of y'all are here because you saw an ad, so welcome. So just to introduce myself, I'm Jans. I'm a boutique owner and also an e-commerce coach. I have over 10 years of corporate retail experience. I've made multiple six figures in corporate retail sales. I've been self-employed for a little bit over 4 years now. I started my online boutique in November of 2018, and I've made just over $1 million. I started my coaching business in June of 2019, and I've served over 7,000 women worldwide, and I've made over $2.3 million in digital sales and services. And so I always include both of my businesses because although most of you in the room are not coaches or service providers, the tactics that I use to sell a course and to sell a service and to sell a program are the exact same strategies that I use to sell $14 leggings and $17 bodysuits and $35 matching sets, okay? There's no difference. When it comes to marketing, marketing is marketing, period. So I've used the same tools and resources to build both my product-based business as well as my service-based business. And tonight I'm going to be sharing some of those things with you and some of the things that I've had to tackle to really help me to get to this point. So these are the 3 businesses that I own. I actually have 2 online boutiques at this point. So the first one that I launched is Brazen Boutique, which is on the far left. The middle is Melrose Blue, which I launched earlier this year in January. And then on the far right is the Boutique Academy. So today I want to teach you what it really takes to make money in e-commerce. So a lot of you, as we saw, have been following me for some time, but I'm eager to know who here is currently a student inside of the Boutique Academy or has taken a course. So just give me a 1 in the chat if you have taken a course, if you're currently in the membership, if you've taken a e-commerce elementary, the accelerator, anything. Bam. Love it. My people, what's up? I love it. Okay, cool. So hopefully tonight's presentation will help you to gain even more clarity than what you've already gotten. And for those of you who are not in the Boutique Academy yet and who have not taken a course, I want y'all to tag somebody, find somebody in this room who has put a 1. And if you have any questions about the Boutique Academy or a course or anything like that, reach out to them and ask, because I can tell you all the good, fabulous things about the Boutique Academy myself, but I am 100% sure it's so much more valuable to hear the perspective of somebody else who is in the same shoes as you, okay? All right, so again, tonight I want to teach you what it really takes to make money in e-commerce. And the reason that I want to do that is because the internet is filled with coaches galore. Everybody thinks that, you know, they're a coach at this point. Y'all know we got everybody teaching us how to create reels and do transitions, and they're telling us how many times to post, and they're sharing trending sounds and whatever the case may be. And everybody's a coach, everybody's a consultant, everybody is a something of that sort trying to provide guidance and collect a coin. But there are very few people in all actuality on the internet, and I'm going to go even further to say on social media, who are teaching e-commerce brands. And I'm going to go even further and say who are specifically teaching boutique owners. And then I'm going to also add, there's very few boutique owners who are willing to teach other boutique owners how to run their businesses successfully. So that is why I'm here this evening. So tonight we're going to discuss why your brand may not be succeeding. We're going to talk about what to focus on to make improvements in your business. So let's get right into it. So quick question, and you don't have to add in the chat unless you want to. What do you envision for the future of your business? Actually, I did put let me know in the comments. So let me know in the comments, like, what would be the greatest thing possible that could happen for you as a business owner, as an e-commerce brand business owner? Like, what's your wildest dream that you could imagine happening? Like, let's say a year from now or 5 years from now, whatever, to be global, sustainability, 1 million in sales, consistent sales, expanding my brand, consistent sales. Yes, everybody want them consistent sales, making my first 100K. I don't wear, whoa. Want to sell out of the inventory. I see some more globals. Multiple 6 figures, international, consistently hitting my goals, quitting my full-time job, Yes, yes, consistent sales with expanding, global consistent six figures. I want to have a paid off. Oh, I know that's right. Have a paid off home, girl. Me too. Okay. Me too. Multiple $1 million business. Great. I love all these goals. I love them. And they're all so doable. And the reason that I know they're doable because I've been doing them. I've been doing them. So if you don't know, I have been self-employed for the entirety of my business. I have not had the pleasure of running my business and collecting a check at the same time. From day one of my business, I have been self-employed. My job went out of business. They gratefully told me 6 months before they were going out of business that, I wasn't gonna have a job anymore. And I got to decide for myself, which was, let me tell you, a hard decision. My mom thought I was crazy. My mom is downstairs actually right now. She thought I was crazy when I said, I'm not going back to work. She used to send me job applications like every week, like, girl, if you don't fill out this job application, I was like, I'm not going back to work. I'm not doing that. And let me tell you, I was so scared. I was scared out of my mind because I don't know. I didn't know what was going to happen. It's everything about business is unexpected. But I was willing to take a bet, take a chance on myself. And I am here today because of that. So again, I want to reiterate that everything that you guys have put into the comments is so doable. It's just a matter of having direction, enough direction to make the right decisions and to also keep going when you make the wrong decision. Because let me just tell you, you're gonna make the wrong decision. I've made plenty, plenty, plenty. I could go on for days about the bad decisions that I've made as a business owner. So I want to share a little bit about my vision for my business. So my number one vision for both of my businesses actually is to sell them. I actually don't want to work for the rest of my life. I would actually prefer to build these businesses up to the point that someone says, you know what, I've been watching your business for so long. I have seen what you've accomplished. I have seen the amount of people that have, supported your business. I can see the positive feedback that your audience is constantly giving you. And I want to be a part of that, whether it be somebody saying, I want to invest, or somebody saying, I want to flat out buy it. By all means, absolutely. Sell it to the highest bidder. That is what is for me in my future. I actually don't want to run this thing forever. If it becomes a multi-global, international, whatever, so be it. I actually don't want that to happen on my dime. I don't want that to happen on my time either. And I think that's okay. I think that, the internet, as I stated, is so filled with people saying, like, this is how you can become a blah, blah, blah. This is how you can make X amount of dollars. This is how you can do. Y'all, that takes a lot of money. I'm going to just put money first because people often want to say time first. It takes a lot of money. The type of business that we have takes a lot of money. And I don't know about y'all, but the more my business grows, the more money I seem to spend. I want to get to the point where I get to keep as much of that as possible, even if that means selling it, honestly. So one day I want to sell my business. That is my biggest brand goal. This is a big part of my vision. And it's a big part of why I do things the way that I do it, why I take the type of risk that I take, why I'm willing to spend the money that I spend, and why I'm willing to run the race as fast as possible personally versus running it as slow as possible. So even though I want to sell it, this is something that I've realized through studying what it looks like to be able to sell a business. So the value of my website, not just my business, but my website, because that's a part of the buying. If they say they're going to buy my business, that means they're also buying my website. The value of my website alone is going to be calculated by considering both the traffic and the revenue it can bring in. This means that I have to know how to control it and what impacts it. And the reason that has to be the case is because nobody wants to buy something just because it looks good on the outside. We actually buy it because of the internal workings of it. We're going to buy it because it's going to fulfill a need, because there's some expected result from it. There's something that we're expecting to occur regularly. And so that means I have to be able to communicate to these investors or whomever is considering purchasing how I've done this and how they can continue or how they can build up on something that's already working. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not buying no business that's broke. I ain't buying no business that ain't working. If you can't tell me why it's doing what it's doing and how it got here, I'm sorry. I don't want to walk into that. I don't want to have to figure that out. I want that to already be figured out before I spend my money. So I realized through research that they're going to want my website too. And my website needs to have like traffic generated regularly. I need to be able to control it, and I need to be able to tell them what impacts this business getting traffic. And then as far as the value of my business, the value of my business as a whole is going to take into consideration not just the revenue, but the expenses and the net profit. So like many people, like some of you, I'm sure, when I first started my business, all I could think about was making my first 6 figures. I was like, oh, I can't wait till my Shopify says $100,000. I can't wait. And then I finally hit that $100,000. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till my Shopify says 250,000. I can't wait till it says 500,000. I can't wait till it says $1 million. I wanted to get to those $100,000 months and, keep it going. But then at some point, I'm gonna say around like year 2, year 3, year 2.5, I started realizing the more money I make, it seems like the more money I'm spending, which seems logical, but also part of business is figuring out how to balance your expenses and control your expenses so that you can increase your profit. So I had to force myself to not just think about that pretty number on Shopify and start to think about the profitability of my business, the overall like money that got to stay in my bank account. Like at the end of the year, when we do my profit and loss statement, what does it say? Shopify may say that I made $1 million, but what does my profit and loss statement say? That is what's going to actually matter, like in a super duper way to a investor. So I had to force myself to start thinking like a business owner. And I find that when we are like sustainability, exactly. So I find that when we're so focused on the revenue, we're often not thinking about the expenses, and we're often not thinking about the profitability. We're thinking about the vanity metrics of our business. We're thinking about, those pictures of the girl with all the orders all over the floor. And she's like, putting all her orders into the back of the, not FedEx, the UPS truck or the USPS truck. We want to be that girl. We want to be the girl who like did it and got it out the mud and like, but what's your bank account looking like? And nobody's going to ask you that. I mean, somebody might ask you. Nobody's going to be like, well, your business isn't successful if you don't have money in the bank. Like everybody glorifies the person that has outwardly appears successful, but internally, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be broke. I want to have enough money to do all the fun things in life. I want to have enough money to go on a 2-week-long vacation. I want to have the money to pay a little extra on my mortgage or whatever the case may be. And oftentimes we can't do that because we don't actually know how to run our business from the standpoint of profitability. We don't know how to run our business from the standpoint of making strategic decisions that will lead to profitability. So that is why we're here today. I want to teach you what it looks like to think about profitability first and foremost, and ultimately to run your business like a big business versus running it like an Instagram business. Because let me tell y'all, one time somebody called my boutique an Instagram boutique and I almost lost it. I was like, oh no, baby. No, this is not one of those. We don't just operate on Instagram. This is a business. Like we got people and we got processes and we got systems. Like Instagram is not it for us. So we're going to work on that. So the mistake that most new e-commerce businesses make, and again, these are mistakes that I made too, or a mistake that I made too. Most people start a business and immediately set revenue goals. So we just talked a little bit about goals. I noticed almost everybody said revenue goal. A lot of y'all set revenue goals, and you want to have a revenue goal, absolutely. But what we really should be setting are marketing goals to support us on our journey to making our revenue goals. So we're going to talk a little bit about some examples of marketing goals. And here are a list of them. And I'm going to send this replay to y'all. So feel free to, screenshot if you need to, but I will send this replay to you. So a couple of marketing goals that we should and could be setting for our business includes creating and increasing visibility, increasing our leads, AKA subscribers, driving more website traffic, recovering our abandoned carts, increasing our average order value, customer retention, AKA keeping your customers coming back, and customer acquisition, acquiring new customers. So like most people, when I started my business, again, all I had was a revenue goal. I was like, I want to make $100,000, period. I want to sell enough inventory that it equals $100,000. But what I really should have been setting, even if I set the revenue goal first, I should have been working backwards and saying, okay, and in order to make $100,000, this is what I'm going to sell. And this is how much that inventory is going to be priced at. And this is how much traffic I'm going to need to convert to that 2 to 3% that they say e-commerce brands are going to convert. This is how many email subscribers I would like to have. This is how much revenue I want to come from the email marketing. I had no idea where that money was going to come from. I hadn't really even thought about it. I didn't consider it at all. All I knew was that money needed to be mine. And I didn't really care where it came from, if I'm being honest. I just wanted it to come. And I was just out here willy-nilly all over the place, praying that that money fell in my lap. And AKA, I was doing it wrong. So when I first started, I had no concept of time or money and what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with my time because, again, I mentioned I was full-time in my business from day one. Day one. I didn't know what to do with that time. I had no idea. I would, create some content here and there. But in all honesty, I felt more freedom than anything. When in actuality, I should have been thinking like, okay, this is now your job. You need a schedule. You need processes. You need goals. That's what I had at all my other jobs. I thought that I was a CEO. I wasn't nothing. I wasn't even an employee. I don't know. I was like a contractor. I came in and out when I felt like I needed to come in and out. It was a mess. So again, I had no concept of money, no concept of time. I didn't know what to do with it. I had no idea. So I just started doing things. And the smart thing that I did was start taking notes of what happened as a result of my actions. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, I came into my business with 10 years, a little bit over 10 years of sales experience. And that was actually super valuable to me because I knew how to sell. I knew that as long as I had people who were interested, that I could sell it to them. I'm one of those people that, how they say you can sell water to a well? That's me. I'm one of them people. But on the internet, I was like, wait, what's this? Social media marketing, email marketing, text marketing, influencer marketing? I didn't know none of that. I had no idea what marketing was at all. I couldn't define. I thought I knew what marketing was. I had no idea. And so I just started doing it and then making a note. Okay, when I posted this many times in a day, this is how much traffic I got. This is how many likes I got. This is how many followers I gained. This is how many email subscribers I got. When I sent an email about this thing, this is what happened. I just knew that I couldn't sit still. That was the number one thing that I knew. I remembered that when I worked in retail, the sales didn't just come to us. People didn't just magically appear at the back of the store at the cash register. There were people on the floor talking to them and engaging them and asking questions and just being of service to them. And ultimately that got them to the cash register. So I was like, okay, girl, you're an employee. You need other employees. And let me tell you, I didn't have any employees. I still really don't have any employees. My husband is an employee. I have an assistant, but I did start to use technological systems and apps and things like that. And I use them as employees. So again, taking notes, even when you feel like it's wrong, even when you feel like you don't know what you're doing, the most powerful thing that you can do is take note of what you did and what you got as a result of your actions, because that will help you to build a strategy over time. So here is how it started and how it's going. Now, I will say that one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I started my business was not launching on Shopify. When I first launched my business, I was on WordPress. I now use Shopify. So the first 9 months of my business, I was using WordPress, and I have no record of any of those sales. I don't know how much money I made. I don't know how much traffic I got because I was not smart enough to download the data and keep it somewhere safe when I switched platforms. I don't know what I was thinking. However, I do have the first, August, September, October, November, December. So first 5-ish months of my business being on Shopify, I made $8,024.42 in that duration of time. And let me tell you, I was proud of that. I was like, okay, I just switched platforms. I'm still learning it. I'll take it. On the right-hand side is how much money my business had made up until March 13th. So it's 2 months ago. $1,028,572.88. So I literally went from not really knowing what the heck I was doing, just knowing how to sell stuff, to understanding marketing, to having a process, to having true revenue goals as well as marketing goals, and understanding how my marketing goals were going to impact my ability to make my revenue goals. I really wanted to have like $1 million year. But going back to what we talked about earlier, when I realized the more money I make, the more money I spend, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm actually not that in a rush to have $1 million year, because I need to figure out where it makes the most sense for me to spend my money so that I still have some money at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter or whatever the case may be. So we already talked a little bit about how long you've been in business, but I want you to think about how much money do you think you've lost or wasted in that period of time? Because let me tell you, I have lost and felt like I wasted so much money. I'll give you a prime example. When I worked my last jobs, I wasted thousands. Listen, same, okay? So when I worked at my last job, I was a store manager, and this was my first time working for a small business. And I always say that job was like the introduction that I needed to entrepreneurship, because in all honesty, my job was like, we don't know how to run this store either. We expect you to be the result, be the expert and get us the results that we want. So one of the things that my job did was give me a marketing budget every single year. I'm sorry, every month. They gave me a marketing budget, and they did not tell me what to do with that marketing budget. I had to figure that out for myself. So what I did was run ads. I was like, you know what? Ads drive traffic. Mind you, this is to a physical store. I'm going to teach myself how to run ads. So every month I would take that money and I would spend it on ads. And I always say the mistake that I made was not taking a course or a class or hiring a coach or something like that for my job to improve my knowledge of running ads. So when I started a business, guess what? I was like, I'm going to run ads. I know how to run ads in my brain. I know how to run ads because I've been running ads for however long I had been running ads, child. I didn't run ads on top of me not understanding marketing. And me not understanding marketing meant that I didn't understand where the ads should fit into my marketing strategy. So ads is my example of where I wasted a lot of money. I don't even know how much. I can't even tell you. In that first year of my business, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to try everything and see what I get. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I made a sale, or sometimes I was like, okay, this is cool. But it wasn't strategic at all. I see a lot of people saying, yeah, wasted some. Yes, just started with ads. And it's like, I feel you. I feel you. Yes, we talk about ads pretty in depth inside of the membership. Buying inventory, yes, girl, same. Oh my God, don't even get me started on the inventory that I bought before I had inventory strategy. There's so many different strategies that we need to have as an online business owner, as a e-commerce brand, as a boutique owner. We think that, oh my God, I can just sell the prettiest thing and it's just gonna work. No, that's not how this goes. Oh my God. So back then, before I knew what I was doing, I couldn't describe what I sold or who it was for. Going back to that inventory, child. I don't know. Somebody said, what do you sell? Women's clothing, trendy women's clothing, clothing for the everyday woman. None of that meant anything to anyone. It gave no real description of what I sold. It gave no real description of who it was for. It created no line of differentiation between my business and the next person's business. I could not describe it for the life of me. I had no real understanding of profit and loss. I didn't know what a P&L statement was, because I also wasn't thinking about getting an accountant. I was like, oh no, I can't afford an accountant. And I'm scared they're going to take my money. Yeah, I should have got an accountant. I didn't understand marketing. I thought it was just posting. I was like, if I post consistently, that means I'm marketing consistently. That's social media marketing, but marketing is a bunch of other things. I was wrong. I didn't understand strategy. I didn't really know what it meant to have a strategy. I didn't know. I could go to the dictionary. The dictionary is my favorite book on earth. I can go to the dictionary and read what a strategy was, but I didn't know how to create one because I didn't have goals outside of revenue. That was the bigger part of that. I was so focused on the moment and not focused enough on the future because I didn't really have brand clarity. I didn't really have a brand vision. I didn't know where I was going. And therefore, I was always acting in the moment. Everything that I did was for today or for tomorrow. It was never for next month or next quarter or next year. My decisions were super random. I started on my best foot with the resources that I had. I always say that I started on my best foot. Like I didn't have ASS do it. I was like, I'm going to do it to the best of my capabilities. I didn't cut any corners purposely because I could. I said, no, whatever corners that I can make it around, I'm gonna make it around those corners. I planned where I wanted to be yearly and then quarterly. I understood that I couldn't do it all, but didn't know exactly what I needed help with. And I dabbled in all parts of my business before delegating. So that's another thing I think is really important. That last one, we're like, I just post on social media. I don't do anything else because I don't know how. It's not a case of you knowing how. I mean, granted, we could take a class, get a course, hire a coach, so on and so forth. But if you're not willing to do that, the least that you can do is try that thing yourself. And that was me. I was willing to try all the things, whether I knew what I was doing or not. So now, in comparison to then, I focus on the future first, and then I work towards it in the present. So I literally am thinking about my business 5 years from now. I'm like, what are we selling in 5 years? What do we want to be? What do we want this business to be known for in 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, so on and so forth. And I think that a down point of being an online boutique owner is that we get so focused on the clothing that the vendors are dropping every day and every week, and we're like constantly adding the new things to our cart, and we're really not thinking about the overall like longevity of our business. We're really not thinking about the overall vision of our business. We're not thinking about how each individual product that we sell, while it may attract someone, it might attract the wrong person, which ultimately could lead your business in the wrong direction. So I always am thinking about the future first, and I let the future guide my actions in the present. I know I can't do everything, so I focus on what I can do, and I outsource what I can't do as quickly as possible. If I can identify for myself that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to go find something or someone to help me with it, whether it be an app, whether it be a person, whether it be a course or a class, a membership, whatever. I'm gonna sign up for it, because if you're telling me that you got the answer and I want the answer right now, well, gosh darn it, give me the answer right now. How much is it going to cost? I know exactly where I want my business to be 5 years from now. As I mentioned, I know every single product that I would like to add to my brand. So as your brand grows, again, I'll speak to anybody, whatever you sell. As your brand continues to grow, you should be thinking about what you want to add, because at some point your audience is going to get bored. It's going to become stagnant. They're going to be like, what's next? So for example, if you follow my business, I've been selling loungewear and like basics for the last few years. And last year I added slippers. It was something super small, but it was something that made an impact, and it like added on to what I was selling. I was already saying that I serve, homebodies, or, people that just like to be in the house. And I was like, okay, let me add slippers. Y'all in the house wearing these leggings and these t-shirts, child. Let me just add something else. And it works. It was something that added to my average order value. It was an easy upsell to something that people were already purchasing. So I already know every single product that I would like to add to my business over the course of time. I prioritize lead generation over everything else. So lead generation is in regards to growing your email list. You should always have the goal of growing your email list. I prioritize lead generation over everything else in my business. I could care less if a person follows my business on Instagram. I could care less I couldn't care less if they followed my Facebook page. I want you to sign up for my email list. I want you to sign up for my text list, because that makes it so much easier for me to drive sales consistently. When Instagram decides that it's going to be down for the day or for the week or however long, or for example, TikTok, child, they trying to cancel TikTok at this point. Imagine building your whole business around TikTok, and you're like, my strategy is posting 3 times per day and people purchase. Well, if you never prioritize lead generation and you got all these people interacting with your content every single day, but TikTok falls off the face of the earth tomorrow, for what state is it? Some state, is it Colorado? I don't know. Some state actually just passed the bill to cancel Montana. Thank you. They just passed the freaking bill to ban TikTok in their state. There are so many people whose whole business is TikTok at this point. You got to believe that every time, if I'm going to post on TikTok, especially a platform that I don't actually know, I would much rather you sign up for my email list than comment below. I would much rather you sign up for my text list than share this post. Like, sign up for my email list. If you like this, sign up for my email list. I don't care if you purchase it today or not. Sign up for my email list. Like, that's all I care about. I care about it so much, so much. I'm so passionate about it. It's crazy. I'm like, how many email subscribers did I gain this month? That's all I want to know. Because guess what? Email marketing drives so many sales for my business. It makes up, on average, every single month, it makes up 40 to 50% of my revenue. I would be a crazy person to not prioritize growing my email list, knowing that email marketing is going to make up 40 to 50% of my revenue. So I prioritize lead generation, period. I sell through email, SMS, and ads. So yes, I post on social media 100%, but I never post on social media with the expectation that money is supposed to come from it. I post on social media with the expectation that more people see my content, more people go to my website, more people sign up for my email list. Because guess what? As long as you do any of those things, my ads are going to do the work that they're supposed to do. My text marketing is going to do the work that it's supposed to do. My email marketing is going to do the work that it's supposed to do. I can't rely on Instagram. Instagram's algorithm don't like nobody. It don't favor anyone. I don't know why. I hate that, but it don't like nobody. I don't got time for that. For this email list, girl. I focus on clarifying my marketing channels and my sales channels. So I don't rely solely on my website anymore. Over the course of time, I always have thought about other platforms and things like that I can use to drive sales. So for example, I have a mobile app at this point. The mobile app, the company that my mobile app is built through is the same company that Fashion Nova's app is built through. It's the same company that JLux Labels app is built through. It's the same company that Princess Polly's app is built through. So many different multi-million-dollar brands. Their mobile app is built on the same platform as mine. I find that a lot of times we have super limiting beliefs around like what we can and cannot do and what we can or cannot afford because we're a small business. Eliminate that word small. No, anything that they can do, you can do as well. You just have to figure out what you can use to make that come true. So again, I focus on clarifying my marketing channels and my sales channels. And lastly, I don't model, but I do show up in the content occasionally. So the number one thing that I knew that I wanted to get rid of was modeling, because if I am always going to be the face of my business, that means I'm a bottleneck to my business. That means that the only way that I can make sales is when my face is present. And I don't have time for that because remember, part of my vision is to be on an island for 2 weeks, living my best life while my business continues to run. I don't have time to show up on Instagram every day modeling clothes. I don't want to do that. And I want to be able to hire somebody else to run the show. Like I want to have an executive assistant who runs the whole thing and she posts on my behalf, and hire some content creators who, my audience loves and trusts, and they can just do it so that I don't. I love that. I don't got time. Okay. So at this point in my business, I am just thinking about big business all day. I'm like, what did they do? Let me see if I can do that. Oh, they got a new platform for whatever. Let me see if there's an app that I can figure out that can do that exact same thing. The CEO doesn't show up ever on this page. Let me figure out how I can never show up on this page. Because I don't want to. I really don't want to. I have no desire whatsoever to do it. So these are the things that I focus on now. There should be a Q&A box at the bottom of you guys' screen. Put your questions in the Q&A box and I will get to those questions as soon as possible. Okay, so this is a realistic timeline of how my business played out. And again, I want you to know that this is how it played out when I had clear goals and I was able to create an actual strategy for my business. I've never hired a marketing company. I don't personally believe in hiring marketing companies unless you know what your business is and can communicate to them what your business is and the direction that you want that business to go. Like you need to be able to answer everything and also be able to review their work and say for yourself, this is good work and this is bad work. A lot of times when people hire marketing companies, they expect those people to be the experts and to give them the answers. When in actuality, you should be giving them the answers and they should be able to implement on what you've given to them. Yeah, I was modeling in the beginning and then I stopped because I did not want to be the face of my business. All right, so year one, I was figuring it out and I tested everything. And in that year, I made 5 figures. I don't know how many 5 figures, I have no idea because again, I don't have any reference of WordPress numbers, but I was able to see that from August to December on Shopify, I made $8,024, I think it was. Year two, this was the year where I clarified what I wanted to sell and I made multiple six figures. So I went from a 5-figure year to making just over, I think I made $215,000 in the second year of my business. And the only real difference in that year was that I became extremely clear on what I wanted to sell. I no longer bought random inventory. I no longer bought one pack of everything. I was like, we sell loungewear, we sell basics, we sell comfortable clothes. And I would say I wasn't even saying loungewear. I would say we probably were selling like basics and like everyday clothes. But I want no more sequins, no more shiny stuff, no more stretchy mini skirts and club dresses, no more suits. It was like, we sell comfortable clothes, period. That's it. So in that year, I made multiple six figures. By year three, this is the year where I started to accelerate my marketing with email, ads, and SMS. And in that year, I made multiple six figures. So I more than doubled my sales in the third year of my business. I went from $215,000 to $469,000 in sales. And then in year four, I launched a second e-commerce business, and then I crossed 7 figures in online sales. So this is what I believe to be a realistic timeline when you have clear goals and strategy. And the only reason I'm saying this is realistic is because I've had multiple students who have also been able to follow this exact same path, who have been able to make multiple six figures in their business in the second year and who have crossed 7 figures in sales. So I figured out where to spend my money and where to spend my time. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, I didn't know where to spend my money or my time. And I honestly wasn't given enough of either of those resources to my business for it to actually make an impact. So a boutique is not the type of business that you start when you want to generate passive income. Someone sent me a message at some point and said, I really want to start a boutique because I want to create passive income. Passive income is a type of unearned income that is acquired automatically with minimal labor to earn or maintain. Minimal is the key word there. A boutique is going to take you some work. It's going to take you some work, some time, some money, some energy, way more than you probably imagined that you were going to have to put into it. So passive income is often combined with another source of income as well. So not much about our business is going to be passive. I really want to just press that issue. Not much about it's going to be passive. You will work for every dollar that you make. However, there are ways to create passive income in your boutique or e-commerce business. So for example, when you create consistency in your product assortment, your customers start to expect to see things from your business. They expect to see white t-shirts. I'm going to give you guys a great example. I sell this like ribbed, stretchy tank top. I've been selling it for probably 3 years at this point. I've sold it in a multitude of colors. I try my hardest to always have a white one and a black one in stock. I can sometimes predict exactly how many white rib crop tank tops I'm going to sell in a month's time and how many black rib crop tank tops I'm going to sell in a month's time because I consistently sell it. And I know that I'm consistently buying other products that can, you can layer on top of that or underneath it or whatever. I can almost guess, as long as I sell this many matching sets or this many cardigans or whatever the case may be, I'm probably going to sell this many rib crop tank tops. So for us, passive income looks a lot different than it does for the typical business, but it's not impossible. So P.S. times have changed. The internet is ever changing. Social media is ever changing. The industry is ever changing, and it's extra saturated. When I started my business in 2018, November of 2018, there was a lot of boutique owners, but not nearly as many as someone said I brought a set, and let me tell you, it's my favorite go-to outfit. Yes. When I started in 2018, there was a lot of boutiques, but it wasn't nearly as many. The pandemic, I don't know why, but everybody decided that they were going to start an online boutique during the pandemic. And in all honesty, a lot of them have closed down. A lot of them weren't consistent. A lot of them are very like on and off. And it's usually because they didn't come into it with the right mentality in the first place. They came into it expecting it to create passive income, only to find out that there is little passiveness about it at all. So it's important to know that regardless of if it's working today, It may not be working next month. It may not be working well next year. You're going to have to constantly stay on your toes. And that's not just saying, oh, I'm going to change my inventory or change my pricing. That's saying, oh, I'm going to stay up to date on what's changing in social media. I'm going to stay up to date on what's changing on the internet in general. Like, for example, AI is such a huge thing right now. You can automate almost anything and use artificial intelligence for almost anything, whether it be writing your captions. Currently, I use an AI source for creating short form videos for my YouTube videos. So I used to have to like delegate that to someone and say, oh, I need you to break up this part of the video and this part of the video and make it a reel or a TikTok. I literally can now plug my URL, my YouTube URL into an AI website, and it will break it up for me without me telling it what parts to break up. It's crazy. So when you are not staying abreast of like what's happening on the internet, your business is getting left behind. It's so important that you understand that not only is the industry saturated, the internet is constantly changing and evolving. So here is how you will keep up. And this is also what likely needs to get fixed in your potentially broken business. So number one, you want to focus on attraction. Number two, you want to focus on creating visibility for your business. Number three, you want to focus on lead generation. Number four is generating traffic. Number five is re-engaging your audience. And number six is driving conversions. So I always say that business requires you to have an order of operations. There is an order that everything should be completed in your business. And a lot of times when we start, we go straight to conversions. We think we deserve a sale just because we are present, because we started, because we have inventory available. But not very many people have a strategy for attraction, or visibility, or lead generation, or driving traffic, or re-engaging their audience. They are literally just out here saying, buy this, click this link in my bio, it's $20, get it today, last 4 remaining. And they think they're supposed to get money from that. That is not how businesses work. So we are going to go through each of these, starting with attraction. So if you are wondering, for example, why is my following not growing? Or why is my content not getting engagement? Why do I get the same amount of likes every single time I post? Why do I not get any comments ever? Why do people not share my content? You likely have an attraction problem. So attraction dictates our responses so much that it can be profitable to hire an attractive CEO. Now, this is a quote that I found on the internet somewhere, child. I don't know where I found it, but I was like, this makes so much sense. Maybe like 2 months ago or so, I like accidentally went viral from a tweet that I posted about pretty girls basically being successful. Not to say that every pretty girl is successful, but my point was that there is literal data that says that the prettier you are, 9 times out of 10, the more successful you can be. Well, even when it comes to getting a job, getting hired for something, like they tend to look at what you look like and use that unjustifiably to decide whether or not they're going to give you a job. So this quote says that attraction dictates our responses so much that it can be profitable to hire an attractive CEO. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something that was so funny to me in the moment, but it was just like, people are so vain. So me and my family, we have this like running joke, y'all. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, a girl commented on one of my posts, and it was one of those backhanded compliments. I hate backhanded compliments. She said, and I quote, congratulations on all your success. You seem to be doing great. I think that you could do so much better if you hire a model, because you're kind of like straight up and down and square shaped. So the joke that we have running in my house is, I'm like, oh my God, do I look like SpongeBob today? I'm like, do I need to look better? It was funny to me. Now, granted, somebody would have taken like very strong offense to that. That might have like been a damper on their day, a damper on their whole business. Me, on the other hand, I was able to say to myself that, one, the world is full of very vain people. But number two, hey, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Unfortunately, some people choose to voice their opinions in the most terrible way. But it does go to show you that people are vainly looking at what you look like and how you fit into your clothes. Boutique owners, how you style those clothes, how your body looks in those clothes. It's the most unfortunate part about being a clothing business owner, but it is 100% true. And I honestly hate it, you know? So advertisers, if you've never noticed, tend to use attractive models to draw our attention. Notice that this doesn't say to drive sales. So there is a difference between when we looked at that list of the 6 things we're going to talk about. At the top of that list was attraction. At the bottom of that list was conversion. So this says advertisers use attractive models to draw our attention. They're like, let me just put a pretty person in front of you. Let me put a gorgeous model in front of you. Let me put a beautiful, handsome man with a nice smile and some, you know, he got beautiful teeth, nice haircut, whatever, nice skin. Let me put him, like, I always think about Morris Chestnut. Like, if you put Morris Chestnut in a movie, it don't even matter what the movie about. I'm about to go see Morris Chestnut because that man is fine. Okay. Attractive man in the movie and you're going to get some money up out of me. I'm going to be there. I might repost it. I don't know. So when you think about advertising, they literally will put the most beautiful person in front of you just to get your attention. That's all they need is your attention. That's it. They're like, just like this picture. And let me tell y'all why big businesses do this. So the moment that you like a post, all you gotta do is like it or even comment on it. Or let's say it's a reel, you watch 3 seconds of their video. You ain't even gotta like it or comment or anything. The moment that you do any of those things, they can now retarget you with an ad. You didn't go to their website, you didn't comment, you didn't do it, you just looked at it long enough, or you liked it and you scrolled past. You now are in what's called a custom audience. So in your Facebook advertising platform, you can create what are called custom audiences. And one of the custom audiences you can create is people who engage with a post or ad on your page. All I had to do was look at it, 3 seconds of watching your reel. And now I'm in your custom audience. And now you can advertise to me all you want. Gosh dang it. That's smart. And that's one of them things that I didn't know or understand when I first started my business. I just thought, let me just post consistently and people should like it and buy it. No, I just need something to grab your attention so that I can continue to market to you. So brands like Victoria's Secret and Axe, they use attractive models to get our attention. But a brand like Savage X Fenty, for example, attracts people by being different, but they also have an attractive and popular CEO. So remember we talked about the quote at the beginning. It said it could be profitable for your business to have an attractive CEO. So it's almost like saying, even if Savage X Fenty had mediocre products and it wasn't all that, the mere fact that they were different and have a attractive CEO gives them a sense of credibility and also makes it interesting to people, makes people want to give them money. And that's not to say that, you know, nobody else can enter into that market, but it's a thing. So when we think about the difference of Savage X Fenty versus Victoria's Secret from the lens of the media, I want you to see what the media had to say. So Victoria's Secret has been around for way longer than Savage X Fenty, like way longer. But what we don't know about Victoria's Secret is like, who's the CEO of that? Like, what's your mission? What we see today, well, actually they changed a bit. They're trying to be more inclusive. But prior to, what they did was the same. Like it was this pencil thin, skinny model, supermodel at that. None of us really could relate to those bodies at all. But we were, okay, I'm gonna go get my 5 for 26 panties, child. I'm gonna go get my Christmas pajamas from y'all. I'm gonna tune in to watch this fashion show, even though I probably am never gonna buy any of these crazy things. But then Savage X Fenty comes along and they are different. They sell same thing, lingerie, but they do it in a cool and different way. But look what happened. Like I'm going to read these headlines to you. But first and foremost, I want you to know that the market share for Victoria's Secret dropped from 80% in 2016 to 65% in 2019. So what that is saying is that in 2016, as far as the lingerie industry was concerned, Victoria's Secret made up 80% of that market. 80% of all sales from lingerie was coming from or going to Victoria's Secret. But then in 2019, it dropped to 65%, leaving a huge opening for Savage X Fenty to come in and take over. So this is what the media had to say. The first one said the Victoria's Secret fashion show is back, because apparently they back this year. It says the Victoria's Secret fashion show is back, but can it compete with Savage X Fenty? Imagine your brand, let's say your brand is Victoria's Secret. Imagine you being at like the top of the charts of all the things for all these eons of years. And then this brand comes along selling, the same thing as you. And now you're getting compared to them in the media all day, every day. And you got a fashion show and they got a fashion show, and you sell lingerie and they sell lingerie. But they got a beautiful CEO who's extremely successful. And it's like, dang, what we got? What's happening over here? What we doing? Oh, snaps. So they canceled their fashion show. As y'all may know, Rihanna, Savage X Fenty, they do a fashion show on Amazon Prime every single year. And it's great. It's fantastic. I love it. But Victoria's Secret is back now. They're also trying to be more inclusive, because guess what? Savage X Fenty is extremely inclusive, not just in body, but like in type of person, in all ways possible. Victoria's Secret now wants to be inclusive because they got to compete. They got to do a fashion show because they're like, dang, y'all like their fashion show? Okay, we're going to bring our fashion show back. The second headline says, no one's going to miss the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So this is when they decided that they were no longer going to do a fashion show. They're like, we ain't doing it. We done. It says Victoria's Secret wanted to make its yearly fashion show a feminist endeavor. No one was buying it. They were like, we don't care about it being feminist. It's the inclusivity. Guess what? Rihanna and them was like, we inclusive. We got all the things. We got it. We're here. Victoria's Secret is a bunch of perverts running their company. They had to, they did. They had a lot of scandal. And then the CEO was in trouble because he said something about the transgender community. It was just bad. And while all that bad was happening in Victoria's Secret's world, Savage X Fenty was just picking up all their slack, just all their money. And now the business is valued at like $1 billion. Crazy. Anyway, so last one says Rihanna's Savage X Fenty fashion show lineup is full of former Victoria's Secret's models. Let's talk about brand loyalty. The models was like, oh, y'all don't have no fashion show no more? Well, we weren't actually modeling because you were Victoria's Secret. We were modeling because we models. We want to make money. And then not only are we about to get to model, we about to get to model for Rihanna's brand, Rihanna's inclusive brand, Rihanna who is Rihanna. They hopped their butts right on over to them. No brand loyalty whatsoever. They weren't like, we're going to wait for Victoria's Secret to come back because we love you and we are so loyal. No, all them supermodels was all up and through Savage X Fenty's fashion show. That's insane. But that also goes to show you like how great of a brand Savage X Fenty has created. So much so that not only are the models jumping ship, but the customers are jumping ship. The fashion show has taken over. So many different things. So from listening to that, you may have guessed it's not just about the products, because Victoria's Secret got panties and Savage X Fenty got panties. They got bras, they got bras. They had a fashion show, we got a fashion show. It's not just about the products. The content as a whole matters. The brand as a whole matters. If you think about the Super Bowl commercials that are interesting to watch. I watch the Super Bowl every year just for the commercials. I don't watch it for nothing else. If you think about the commercials that are interesting to watch and feature nice looking people, but you have no idea what's being sold at the moment. Like I'd be like, no, what? Did they even mention a product? Like, have y'all ever watched one of those commercials and you're like, well, this is weird. This is interesting. And you're like, I don't even know what they sell. I have no idea. I don't know. There was one Super Bowl commercial where they just wanted you to scan a QR code. I don't know what you are selling, but I'm going to scan the QR code to see what's on the opposite side. It's wild. It's crazy. I never spent as much money with Victoria's Secret as I do with Savage X Fenty. I'm a part of their VIP, so money is being taken out of my account monthly. I don't skip a brand loyalty. Yes, which I don't mind because I order every month anyways. Exactly. Someone says, reminds me of the perfume commercials. Yeah, exactly. So you think about these Super Bowl commercials. Sometimes we don't even know what they're selling, but it's just interesting. It's captivating. It keeps our attention. And remember, we're just talking about attraction. The first step of brand success is attracting people. Like, can I actually attract you? Can I actually get you to stop in your tracks and pay attention to what's in front of you? So typically these, some of these Super Bowl commercials, they just give you a call to action and they let the back end marketing do the rest. That's it. So let's continue. So again, just keep in your brain that when it comes to attraction, it's not just about the products. The content as a whole matters, the brand as a whole matters. So I mentioned earlier that like I use social media to attract people. And yes, my models have on clothes, but I'm not just thinking about the clothes that they're wearing. I'm thinking about the overall structure of my content. I'm thinking about like, how do we photograph it? How do you look? Are you happy in this picture or in this video? Are y'all dancing? Are y'all having a good time? I want it to be something that captures someone's eyes, not just because of the product. Because if you follow me, you know, I don't sell anything special. There may be 100 of y'all in this room that sell the exact same things. I don't make the money that I make because of the products that I sell. I make the money that I make because of how I sell the products. So your impression of a brand or our impressions of a brand is first and foremost impacted by what we see. It's not just about the product that we see. It's about the model that we see. It's about how the product is styled on the model. It's about the setting that you chose to take the picture or create the video in. It's about like how they're moving. If there's voice, it's about how you sound. If it's voice, it's about the type of words that you use. So many different things that are taken into consideration as to whether or not someone chooses to interact with the content first and foremost, not whether or not they're choosing to purchase from you. And hopefully that makes sense. So, excuse me. Social media counts impressions. If you've ever looked at your social media insights, you've likely seen a section that says impressions, it says reach, it has followers. So social media counts impressions externally. So it is counting how many times your content has been seen. That's what an impression is. But internal impressions is what matters. So it's important that we are thinking about, how did my content make someone feel internally? Not did they see it. The impressions on social media is not telling you how anybody felt at all. It's just saying, this is how many times your piece of your picture or your video was saw. It got saw 40,000 times. But imagine if all 40,000 times, every person that saw it was like, what is this? Why did they photograph it this way? Why does she look that way? Why does she sound that way? Like, imagine if every single person that saw that piece of content was questioning why it was the way that it was. Imagine if none of the people that saw it were the people that you wanted to see it. That's going to suck. And imagine you not having enough clarity or enough strategy to be able to say like, okay, this is the part that's probably wrong, or this is the part that needs to change. So spending time or money expanding the visibility of mediocre content will create external impressions by way of the numbers of times the content was seen, but internal impressions will be lacking. So you can spend all the time you want pumping out content 3 to 5 times a day. I always say 3 to 5 times a day because that's how many times people tell me that they post a day. Some people say once a day, but 3 to 5 is like the typical. You can do that as many times as you want. You can post 10 times a day. But if every single time you post is some mediocre piece of content that you took in, first of all, let me tell y'all, I'm getting off topic for a second. So my grass, we just had this guy come out and like feed our grass because we had all these like yellow patches in our grass. And now our grass is all beautiful and green. So I'm just going to use grass as an example. Imagine if every time you take your picture, you go into your backyard with the patchy yellow grass and the trees that ain't got no leaves on it, and you just out there twirling. I'm going to be like, okay, girl, you look like you're having fun twirling, scroll. But imagine if that same situation, model wearing the dress, twirling or whatever, and the grass is beautiful and green and plush, and the trees in the background are not bare, but they're full of greenery and flowers, and it looks like she's in like, I don't know, the Garden of Eden. That's going to convey 2 different things. I'm going to be like, wow, this is such a beautiful piece of content. Oh my God, those flowers are so pretty. Oh my God, it looks like she's in a garden. Oh my God, I wonder where this is. Is this our house? Is this a park? Is this somewhere that I can go and take a picture myself and twirl too? Because I got a dress and I want to twirl. It's going to convey 2 totally different things. So again, you can spend all the time you want creating mediocre content. You can post all you want, but if it's not actually creating a positive internal impression, it's not doing anything for your business. All right, so what they see creates an internal impression of your brand, and every impression counts. Every single one of them. Like, I literally can see how many impressions my business has had over the course of however long I've been in business. And all I think about all the time is the how big of a number my impressions are in comparison to the number of orders that I've received. And the only thing that I can think of in that moment is not, why didn't my followers grow? It's always, man, there were so many people that saw this content that did not resonate with it. They were like, scroll past. I always think like, what could have been better? Every single time. Every time when I post those reels, y'all know how a reel can just, for whatever reason, get 10,000, 20,000 views. It's like, man, this many times this reel was saw, and so many people just scroll past and they ain't do nothing. They ain't like it, they ain't comment, they ain't share it, they ain't go to my website. All I can think about is what could have been better? Was there something that could have been better? Something likely could have been better. So your perception of a brand is based on comparison between one brand and another. You may not realize it in the moment. And it's sometimes not even like through your consciousness that you're comparing it, but we likely are comparing it to something. By nature, we form an opinion by thinking about brands that we already know, like, and trust. And this is why it's important to do research and clarify who your brand competitors are. So when I first started my business, I used to just buy inventory and I just create content, not really thinking about like, who else sells this and how do they sell it? Like, what does their content look like? How do they talk to their audience? What other brands may exist that a consumer might compare my brand to? I didn't really think about it. And so if I had understood that a consumer is going to naturally, without them meaning to do so, say, oh, so-and-so sells clothes like this, or so-and-so has the same products. If I had understood that, then I probably could have been a little bit smarter about how I chose to present my content or present my products through my content. So always remember that your perception is going to be based on a comparison, no matter whether or not you meant to compare it or not. So I'm going to give you two brands. I literally think of Fashion Nova and Akira as the same brands. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Akira or not, because it's not as big as Fashion Nova, but in my brain, they're the same business because they sell the same type of products. There's not much difference in the type of products, but what is different is how they choose to sell it. What's different is their marketing strategy and their content. I was at Akira earlier today. I bought some clothes. I actually don't go there often, but I was there. They're the same, but content-wise, so on the left-hand side, that's Fashion Nova. On the right-hand side is Akira. Look at the content. It's clearly different. Clearly. Akira's is way more like edgy and like risky looking, whereas Fashion Nova is like, they got the curvy model and, they got the BBL girls and they got the Instagram influencers and things like that. Personally, I feel like Akira has much more of a brand strategy than or brand content strategy than Fashion Nova does. But again, one is more successful than the other, and that's not to say that it's because of their content. But what I want you to understand is that two brands can sell the same thing and completely resonate with two different audiences, completely attract two different audiences, completely make you feel a way. One may make you feel terribly, and the other may make you feel amazing. Meanwhile, they sell the exact same thing. It's crazy, right? So this is their advertising. So I'm gonna go back for a second. So this is social media content. This is content that is free. It's free for them to post. So that means they can choose, they can post however many times they want, in whatever order they want, with or without any type of order whatsoever, completely free. And we are the same. We can all post on social media for free. Costs us nothing to do so. But I want you to look at the content that they choose to run as ads, meaning money. So now if I'm going to spend my money to put this content in front of people, look at the difference in the content that they choose to put their money behind. And again, selling very much the same type of products, but in two different ways. So it's alternating. Akira, Fashion Nova, Akira, Fashion Nova. So Akira has these nice, clean, white backgrounds. Models look clean. They're not, overly well-shaped or curvy or anything like this. Just like, it's cool. It's very cool looking, in my opinion. Whereas Fashion Nova's like, we're going to put some influencers in there. Y'all can be outside if you want to. You can be in the house if you want to. We don't really care. Honestly, so this is, you can see any brand's ads if you guys didn't know. If you go to what's called the Meta, if y'all didn't know, Facebook changed their name. They're Meta. So go to Google and type in Meta Ads Library. So you're going to land on the ads library, and there's going to be a drop-down menu. I forget what the button says, but you'll want to click that drop-down menu and change it to all ads. And then you can type any brand's name in there, and you'll be able to see all the ads that they're running. One of my favorite activities is looking at the difference between the content that a brand posts on their social media for free versus the content that they choose to run as ads. So we talked a little bit about ads earlier, right? I used to be just wasting all my money on ads, and I was running the same content as ads as I was posting on my social media. You will be surprised to find out that a lot of the brands, most successful brands, they don't actually run ads on the same content that they post on social media. Because remember, our first job is attracting people. So they're going to pump out as much content as possible, not really caring too much about like the order of it or things of that nature, because they're just trying to attract people so that they can now run ads to you. If you interact with this content, we're going to run ads to you. And then now they get to decide and be a little bit more strategic about what content they're putting in front of people, because now our money is on the line. On Instagram, our money is not that much on the line. I could post as many times as I want and not lose a single dollar. If I run an ad, I best to be very, very, very clear about what I'm running as an ad. And that's not to say it's going to work, but I'm going to be a lot more smart about it because my money's on the line, you know? Yeah, not highly sexualized, more high fashion. Exactly. Akira is giving runway, Fashion Nova is giving every day. Exactly. Monique says, I'll be doing that to research my competitors before I post ads. Yes, exactly. All right, let's keep going. Can you put that in the chat for future use? Yeah, it's called Meta Ads Library. There you go. All right, so branding. What we just looked at is basically an example of branding. So when it comes to branding, your branding is not just, a logo. It's not just colors. It is you really being clear about how you want your brand to be seen by the public. You are thinking about how you want people to feel about your brand when they see it. So branding works as a crucial part of your business strategy. And when branding is lacking, your attraction is lacking, which means you're probably not growing in leads, which means you're probably not getting website traffic, which means you're probably not getting sales. So branding is so important. Your content is an element of your branding. What we see on social media is an element of your branding. If you can just remember, like, the thing that has helped me as it pertains to social media, if you could just remember that every single piece of content is someone's first impression, it will change the way that you post on social media. When I used to just post, I wasn't thinking about the fact that somebody new is going to see my content. So if you think about like all the little quotes and memes and things like that we post, okay, that might get you some likes and some shares and things like that. But it's like, is that what I wanted to be the first impression of my business? Does that actually get me anywhere at all? Maybe not. I'll give you guys an example. So any of us can post a meme. I've posted memes before. I posted, quotes and things like that. Did nothing for my business other than, likes, comments, ha-has in the comments, shares, things like that. But I didn't do anything with that because I wasn't showing my products at all. It did nothing. It was just like, okay, that was a nice, cool, funny piece of content. Now, if I'm going to post a meme, I'm going to be real strategic about it. And let me tell y'all how it worked for me. So this year during the Super Bowl, this is a gym. I don't use the word gym, but this is a gym, okay? So this year during the Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl happened, I didn't know what was going to occur during the Super Bowl. I didn't know what was going to be funny. I didn't know what commercials was going to happen. I had no idea, none whatsoever. What I knew was that everybody was going to watch it for Rihanna, and I didn't know what was going to happen with Rihanna. I had no idea what the performance was going to be like. I did not know. All I knew was that I was going to be posting some memes about the Super Bowl, kind of like we do with the Met Gala. When the Met Gala happens, everybody posts these memes about people's funny outfits and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to post memes and it's going to go great. I'm going to post like tweets and memes, and everybody's going to laugh and everybody's going to share, which they did. And I wish I had that post right in front of me. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find it real fast. So while I'm looking for it, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. So like I imagined, everybody shared it. Everybody laughed. Everybody was commenting, and it was great. I mean, I had never really seen a piece of content travel that far and fast that quick. I was flabbergasted, if I'm being honest. And I was like, okay, so what can I do with this? Before I posted it, I was like, every single person that shares this piece of content or engages with it anyway, I can retarget with the ad. Whether you're a business owner or not, whether you want these clothes or not, whether you want a course or not, I don't know. But I do know that this is a potential way that I can get in front of a very wide audience. And it wasn't gonna be because of this. It wasn't gonna be because of because of a meme that they were like, I'm gonna purchase from you. But the mere fact that you interacted with my brand in some way, or this content in some way, gave me permission to continue to market to you. So I found the post, y'all. So this thread of tweets and memes, it got 1,234 likes. Mind you, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew people were going to share it. It got 1,234 likes. When you look at your analytics, it shows you how many of your followers you reached and how many non-followers you reached. I knew that this content was going to reach a bunch of non-followers. It reached 11,285 of my followers. And then it reached 11,158 non-followers. So it was basically split in half. Half of the people that interact with that content were my audience. Half of them were not. Completely brand new people, meaning completely brand new people that I get to market to through these ads. And through the content, I can also see engagement. I had 903 of my followers engage with it, 613 people who do not follow me engage with it. I could see how many people visited my profile as a result of that. I can see how many people tapped the link. I can see how many people follow me. Again, I don't care about follows. I could care less. I literally got one follow. It says at the bottom there. I got one follow. I could care less. You follow me. I'm about to retarget you with some ads and see if you want to start a business. I'm going to see if you want to buy some leggings today. I'm going to see if you care to get a ribbed crop tank top, child. I don't care. It works so well, y'all. I got 599 shares. All I know is my content's out there and I'm about to retarget y'all with ads. It was fantastic. So always remember that, like, if you're going to post the memes and the quotes and things like that, do it with strategy. Otherwise, it's just a filler for your feed, and that really doesn't do anything for you. So again, your content is an element of your branding, how it's photographed, where it's photographed, how the model looks in the photo, how it's styled, the messaging you choose to use, it all matters. Just to give you a little bit example there, I literally used to have like this like back and forth with not even back and forth, but my model is a model. Like you know how models, like, they want to walk the runway, they want to wear heels, things like that. I literally have to tell her, like, during our photo shoots, take your heels off, girl. I'm like, I sell sweatpants, I sell leggings, I sell like homeware, like homebody stuff. Take your heels off. Like, that matters. It's not part of my brand. It's just not a thing. I'm not the brand that you buy from. I'm not the brand that's going to market like, you can dress this up and down. That's not my brand. My brand is not going to tell you can wear your heels with that. My brand is going to say you can wear your slippers with that. You can put on your fuzzy socks with that. You could be barefoot with that. Heels are not part of it. Like, the smallest of details can matter, y'all. Okay, so you must establish your brand image. Everybody needs the brand image. If you have a business, you should have a brand image. You want to think about, how do you want your brand to be seen and perceived? It's not just about the colors and pretty pictures. Emotional appeal has greater influence than anything else, honestly. Yes. How did you retarget those people with the content? I retargeted anyone who engaged with a poster ad within a certain time frame. So you can choose what time frame you want that content to live within. So I could do like anyone who engaged with a poster ad in the last 1 day, in the last 2 days, in the last 7 days. That was it. So once you have that figured out, how do you sell? You probably are like, okay, once I got all this stuff figured out, how do I sell? And again, we had 5 other things that we needed to focus on. So we first and foremost, we talked about attraction, and we just talked about so much in relation to attraction, but we still got to create visibility for the business. We still got to focus on lead generation. We still got to drive some traffic. We still got to re-engage these people. And then hopefully we get a conversion. I think I talk about it a little bit further in the presentation, but there's a saying that it takes on average 7 interactions before a sale happens. So imagine if you just pumping out content every day, and every single person that sees your content, that's their first impression, and they never see anything from your brand again. you likely ain't gonna get that person's money because you had one impression and you still need six more to potentially get their sale. So let's talk briefly about each one of these and we'll go in a little bit more detail about all of them. So visibility. If no one knows your brand exists, no one can purchase from it. I'm gonna say that again. If no one knows your brand exists, no one can purchase from it. Okay. So for the people that are like, I post every blue moon, I launched and I posted for that first week and then I didn't post again for a month because I didn't get no sales or whatever. If no one knows your business exists, they cannot purchase from you. And I don't even want you to think about the number of followers that you have because so many people get stuck on how many followers they have. And they're like, well, my followers aren't even purchasing. And I always say, okay, how many more people are there in the world outside of your follower account? I have 30 something thousand followers and there's 8 billion people in the world. I'm not about to stop what I'm doing because the 30 some thousand aren't doing what I want them to do. I'm gonna focus on the other 8 billion out there that I could potentially get this brand in front of. So if the same people continuously see your content, you only have the possibility to sell to the same people. Your business needs constant marketing in order to constantly attract new eyes, drive traffic, grow your email list, and drive sales. This will cost you time and money, okay? Time and money. I don't care what nobody else says. Y'all know one of the girls who are in the Boutique Academy know one of my biggest pet peeves is people that try to teach you how to run an e-commerce business without ads. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. The world's biggest e-commerce businesses run ads. What would ever make you think that your business can be just as successful as theirs without them? It's not a thing. You need a marketing budget. You need to figure out how to run ads, whether it be now or a little bit later. At some point, ads needs to become part of your strategy. So visibility is going to cost time and it's going to cost you some money. Then we have lead generation. So lead generation, again, is in regards to growing your email list. Website visitors will not always purchase on the first visit. I'm sure you guys know, have gotten some traffic. People come to me all the time and say, I got 500 visits on my website and I got 2 sales. Why did I only get 2 sales? It doesn't mean that they didn't like it. There could be a whole bunch of reasons why they didn't purchase. Maybe they don't need anything you have in the moment. Maybe the price is a little bit too high. Maybe you didn't have their size. Maybe they were hoping you had a different color. Maybe a button wasn't working on your website. It could be so many different things. So I never really trip on the number of people that came and didn't purchase because I'm looking to see, well, how many people sign up for my email list? Because that lets me know that I can continue to market to them. So visitors will not always purchase on the first visit, but they may sign up for your emails. Email subscribers may not use the welcome coupon provided, but they still need to be marketed to. I don't know how many times people have signed up for my email list, got that little coupon, did not use the coupon, never used the coupon. I'd be like, well, what you sign up for? That's what I used to think. Now I'm like, it don't even matter. I got your email. I'm going to keep emailing you. That's it. Email automations will help you to drive sales on autopilot based on subscriber behavior. So I have a welcome series for when people sign up for my email list. I have an abandoned cart series for people who leave their cart behind. I have a browse abandonment series for subscribers who literally just look at a product. I have a thank you series for people who have purchased from me. I have a win back series for people who have not purchased from me in a while. I have a sunset series for people who have not opened my emails in a while. All of those emails are designed to drive some money when I don't feel like it. As long as I got traffic coming to my website, people should be signing up for my email list, which means that they should be going through my email automations. The average e-commerce business generates 25 to 35% of its revenue from email marketing. 25 to 35%. So if you are in the group of people who do not send emails ever, you're missing out on a lot of money because 25 to 35% of your revenue on average should be coming from email marketing. But also that means that you have to be prioritizing lead generation. If you are not actually prioritizing growing your email list, you don't have anybody to email. You got to work on that. I don't believe that there is a certain number of emails that you should send. I believe that you should set a goal for how much revenue you want to see coming from email and keep sending emails until you make your goal, until you get as close as possible. I think I have a screenshot later on in the presentation where I'll show you how many emails I've sent this month alone, just to give you a visual. So again, email marketing should be a part of our strategy. Should you run ads from the beginning? If it is strategic, yeah. And if you have a budget for it, absolutely, 100%. So traffic. So your pretty website needs traffic. How many of you guys have a beautiful website that nobody ever gets to see? How many of you have a website that does not get very much traffic? Maybe you invested in a website designer and you're like, I spent all that money on that website. Nobody's coming to that website. That sucks. Okay. That sucks. That sucks so bad. So you drive traffic to your website through effective marketing. And effective marketing isn't just posting. Your website traffic doesn't have to be solely driven by you, and it doesn't all have to come from social media. You could literally have influencers, you could have affiliate marketing, you could have other forms of content marketing. Your email marketing can help drive traffic. So many different ways that you could be driving traffic. If you want consistent sales, you will first have to master consistent traffic. If you cannot master consistent traffic, you will not have consistent sales. The only way that I got consistent traffic, I'm gonna just be very frank. The only reason that I have consistent traffic is because I run ads consistently. I can post all I want, but because of the algorithm, I have no control over whether or not you actually see the content, let alone click the link in my bio. I can't control that. None of us can control that. What I can control is how much money I spend on ads and whether or not I get some traffic from those ads. I mean, I don't know how many visits I'm going to get, but I can control money being spent on ads to get traffic 100%. So if you want consistent sales, you have to master consistent traffic. And again, this is going to cost money and time. As you may see before we go on, I am not one of those people going to tell you, I'm going to teach you how to run your business for the least money possible or with no money down. You're going to put some money down, okay? It's going to be some money spent somewhere. Where it gets spent is totally up to you, but you're going to spend some money. It's going to happen. Re-engagement. So if you get the traffic, you're going to be like, okay, I got all these visits, so where y'all go? Why y'all didn't buy nothing? Why y'all leave your carts behind? What happened? It's not a case of everybody hates me. Nobody likes my products. My price is too high. Like, you don't actually know until you know. So that's where re-engagement comes into play. Because not every website visitor or social media follower will purchase or take the action you want immediately, they will need to be re-engaged through your marketing. Emails can re-engage your subscribers. Content can re-engage your followers. Ads can re-engage both of them. Okay. So going back to the beginning of my business, y'all, again, I'm keep saying, because I know that so many of y'all are right where I was at, and I need you to step on, just put one foot out of there. When I first launched my business, I was like, I am just going to keep posting consistently, and that should work. That should do it. One day it's going to click. One day. I don't know when one day going to come, but I can't afford one day to be 4 years from now. I need one day to be like next week, preferably tomorrow, preferably, honestly, in the next hour, preferably. You know what I'm saying? So emails are going to re-engage your subscribers. I just think about like the different stages that all these people are in. That's called the buyer's journey. Somebody ain't on your Instagram, ain't coming back to your Instagram, was on your Instagram one time and one time only. They never going to be there again, but they may have signed up for your emails. Imagine if this is like, I don't know, let's say they're like a stylist, like their job is literally to pull clothes for people. Imagine if that person fell on your content one day, didn't follow you, but they went to your website, signed up for your email list, and your emails are now the only way for you to get back in front of that person. I'm gonna give y'all an example. So I work with a stylist every time I do a photo shoot, not for my boutique, but for my personal brand. Every time I do a photo shoot for my personal brand and for the Boutique Academy, she pulls clothes for me. She goes shopping for me. I don't do that. So imagine if I'm gonna just put Germany, her name's Germany. Let's put Germany in her place. Let's imagine Germany signed up for your email list. Germany did not follow you on social media. Germany has a budget that me as a client gave her of $5,000 that she can go spend on clothes and shoes and bags and whatever she thinks I'm gonna need for this shoot. And the only way for you to get my $5,000 that I gave her as a budget is for you to send an email. So imagine if you just own social media all day, every day, and Germany ain't seeing none of it because she ain't on Instagram or she does not follow you, but she just waiting for you to send an email with your newest arrivals so she can spend $5,000. You're going to miss out on your $5,000 because you ain't send an email, because you ain't send that one email or that back-to-back email or whatever. So emails re-engage subscribers, period. content can re-engage followers. If they ain't never been to your website, if they never signed up for your email list, they can't be re-engaged through an email. You can send all the emails you want, your followers are not going to see it. Ads can re-engage both of them. So going back again to custom audiences, in the Facebook ads library, you can create a custom audience of anyone who engaged with your content, which I stated already, but you can also upload your email list into the ads manager and run ads to your email subscribers. I run ads to my email subscribers all the time. I'm gonna send you an email, but I'm gonna also send you an ad too. I'm gonna remind you that we exist. I'm gonna tell you about the sale, all the things through the email and the ad. Period. I want double the dippings because I want to make sure that you don't forget. I want to make sure you see it. I want to make sure you buy it, whatever the case may be. So you have to re-engage your audience. Don't expect people to just like it and buy it. Expect them to like it, forget about it, leave it behind, have a question, be waiting for a coupon, whatever. You're going to have to do something to get back in front of them. Period. Conversions. So now that I'm like, okay, I've done all the things. I got attraction, my following is growing, my content is performing, so on and so forth. I'm getting the traffic, my emails are growing. I should be making money, period. So conversions can come in a multitude of ways, from a multitude of places, and in a multitude of amounts of money. You must first set marketing goals to support your revenue goals, but you'll also need to have strategically selected inventory, strategically priced it, and also use strategic promotional efforts. There are so many people that have all of the other things. They're like, my content performs, my following grows, my emails grow, my traffic grows, my sales do not. And if that is the case, it's likely because you are not being strategic with your inventory. You're not being strategic with your pricing. You're not being strategic with your promotional efforts. And you may say I'm being strategic, meaning that you're making like a database decision or an educated decision. But that decision needs to be made with your ideal customer in mind. It needs to be made with your target audience in mind. There's so much data that you can use to make better pricing decisions as well as better inventory decisions. So that can play a role in whether or not you get that sale at the end of the day. After you done cleaned up everything, made everything work, all the things are moving, you could get to that last point and somebody say, this price is a little bit too high. I love it, but I'm gonna wait till the sale happens. And let's say that the sale happens. You run a promotion, but it's the wrong promotion. You ran a buy 3, get 1 free. I don't want 3 today. I want 1. How much can I save on 1? Okay, I'm gonna wait for the next promotion. The next promotion is buy 2, get 1 50% off. I still don't want more than that. I just want the 1. Not to say that every single sale you run has to be like on one product, but I just want you to understand that not everybody's gonna react to one thing the same way that another person reacts to that thing. Emails can drive sales, content can drive sales, ads can drive sales. You can get money from all of them. Okay, all of them can produce money for your business. So these are the things that I think that you all should focus on before you go starting to change everything, before you go and overhaul your whole business and throw everything away. Clarify what you want to sell. Clarify whether or not what you sell currently is what you want to continue to sell. Clarify who you want to sell it to. So target audience, doing brand research to identify your competitors and to find inspiration, more so inspiration for what's working. Clarify how it should be presented to that audience visually. Clarify how you will talk about your brand verbally, and create a mood board for visual direction, because it does not make sense for you to just wake up every day like, I just know I got to post and I really don't have a plan for how I'm posting, but I'm just going to do it. So let's talk a little bit about visibility. So visibility comes first and foremost. Visibility, you got to make it visible. You got to put it out there. You got to keep posting. You got to keep going. You got to be consistent. Don't take a day off. I mean, you can take a day off, but don't just take days off just because. Keep going. Visibility is created by you and it will require actual work. Visibility should always be a goal. No matter how good your business is, you want to create further visibility, because part of your sales should be coming from existing customers, but another part of your sales should be coming from new customers. And that means that you have to be creating visibility, constant visibility for your business. There are no sales without visibility. You want to make sure you create a visual identity. This is more than just your colors and logos. This is an entire identity, just like a person has an identity, which includes how they look, how they dress, how they talk, and overall how they present themselves to the world. Every brand should have an identity. So here's an example. This is one of my students. Her name is Latika, and this is her boutique, Holt Boutique. So I just want you to look at the pictures. Look at so this is her website on the left, and then in the phone screen is her Instagram. And you'll notice that it has a very clear identity. It's very colorful. Not only are the colors that she's using very colorful, but the products that she sells are very colorful. That's on purpose. It's not a mistake. It's not something that she just like randomly decided. She's like, this is my brand. My brand is colorful. My brand is vibrant. My brand is fun. That's on purpose. So when you think about your brand, again, you're not just thinking like, oh, I got to have cool products. I got to have what everybody else is selling. I got to do what everybody else is doing because that's what works. You want to clarify who your brand is for and how you think they need to see it. And it also needs to have some sense of consistency. So you'll notice that all of her pictures aren't taken in the same way or in the same place. They're not like necessarily the same. Like I hate the whole like 3 in a row of the same picture or the same product. She has just created an overall vision for what she wants her business to be visually, so that hopefully she attracts the people that she wants to attract. So when you think about your own brand, I want you to think about it holistically and not just, what it looks like visually. The goal of brand visibility is to familiarize the public with your brand and differentiate it from other brands. Your brand should be identifiable to a consumer. So if we go back to Latika's brand, for example, there are other brands that can and do sell the exact same things, right? They sell the satin skirts, they sell the sequin shirts, they sell the printed jumpsuit, they sell the colorful blazer, but it comes down to how she chose to sell it. And also she's creating an identifiable visual perspective of her business, so that when and if someone sees the content or sees the products, hopefully they are able to immediately say, oh, I know what business that's from. If it's a business that they already love and that they already support, they should be able to see that picture, probably without her head even being in it, and say, oh, I know exactly where this product is from. Just from looking at, like, there's a picture of a rack of clothes at the far bottom right-hand side. They should be able to look at that picture, that rack of clothes, and be like, oh, this looks like something that Hope Boutique would sell, versus them being like, oh, that looks like it might be somebody else's. They should be able to look at it and say, oh, I know exactly where that comes from. So brands that maintain a high level of awareness typically generate high levels of revenue. And basically we're saying consistent marketing. If you're consistently marketing, you likely can create consistent awareness for your business, which ultimately if you are consistently marketing in a positive and good way, then you can create consistent awareness, which hopefully will generate consistent revenue. So when you're thinking about measuring your brand visibility, if you're wondering, is my visibility increasing? Is my business becoming more visible? You want to monitor your website traffic, and you also want to check the search volume of your keywords. Every business should have keywords. You should know what keywords you want your business to rank for. In Google, when you go to type in where to buy a blue jean, like for example, I typed in yesterday, what did I type in? I typed in metallic cargo pants because I really want the metallic silver cargo pants because I want to wear those to see Beyonce. So if you sell metallic cargo silver pants, but nowhere on your website does it say metallic silver cargo pants, there is no way for Google to know that your business sells metallic silver cargo pants. So you have to think in keywords when it comes to like the wording of the titles of your pages, the titles of your products, the words that you choose to put in your product descriptions. All of that is going to play a role in whether or not you get organic traffic. And then the question you want to ask yourself is, what keywords should come to mind when people think about my brand? So for my brand, I think about loungewear, comfortable clothes, everyday clothes, clothes for homebodies, sometimes even like capsule wardrobe, things like that. Creating brand visibility When you think about creating your brand visibility, think about consistent content that your target audience would want to see and engage with. So there needs to be consistency in how you are choosing to showcase your brand through your content. Create your own definition of consistent and stick to that schedule. So whether it be 1 time a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. So Fashion Nova posts like 12 times a day, y'all. I'm gonna just put that out there. They post like 12 times a day, and we be thinking we getting somewhere without 1 post per day. This is a multi-million-dollar brand posting 10 times per day. 10. And we think we're supposed to get something from our one child. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing much of anything, honestly. And every time they post, they're getting in front of a new audience, in front of more people. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We want to increase where it makes sense and what it makes sense to increase. So if it makes sense to produce more reels, produce more reels. If it makes more sense to do more carousels, do more carousels. If it makes more sense to increase a certain style of product, increase that style of products. Don't change your whole business because you got bored and then expect it to work. If there is something that is working, you should increase it as much as you can. And then lastly, prioritize content creation so that you can prioritize content distribution. So I mentioned Fashion Nova posts 10 times per day, but that's because they have enough content to do that. So if when we're doing like our photo shoots and things like that, we only produce enough content to post that thing twice, we don't have enough content. And 9 times out of 10, the product isn't going to sell from you posting those 2 pictures. You need more. So I literally just be creating content for the sake of having it. And some of the content don't ever see the light of day, but at least I had it if and when I needed it. All right, so we talked about visibility. Now let's talk a little bit about traffic. So how do I get traffic? Where does the traffic come from? What does it mean if I don't have traffic? So on and so forth. So a website without traffic means ineffective marketing, period. I mentioned I'm like very straight to the point. If your traffic is not consistent, if your website is not getting any traffic, that means that your marketing is ineffective 100%. Why your website may be lacking. So I mentioned SEO first and foremost. SEO matters. Google controls 92% of the search market, meaning that when someone goes looking for something, 92% of the time they go to Google looking for it. They don't go to Instagram. I mean, they might 8%. Let's say 2% go to Instagram, 2% go to TikTok, 2% go to Facebook, 2% go to Twitter, Pinterest, so on and so forth. 92% of the search market is controlled by Google, which means that your content, your products, your pictures, your product description, so on and so forth should be showing up in Google. That means that we have to prioritize keyword usage. I get so much traffic organically, organic meaning just from people searching things on Google, which is amazing. That means I didn't have to do anything. The person has such a higher potential likelihood of purchasing something because they went looking for it versus me putting it in their lap and trying to force it upon them. They were like, I was looking for this, and Google trusted your business enough to show it to me. So I love seeing traffic that came from Google, and then more importantly, sales that came from Google. It's amazing. Backlinks. So if you don't have any backlinks or no internal links, having backlinks can create authority for your business. Most web pages that rank high on search engines have high quality links directing traffic to them. So a backlink is like, it's just what it sounds like, a link that is leading people back to another page, a page on your website. So for example, if you've ever been like, let's say you were featured in a like insider.com or People Magazine or something like that, and they linked your business in their article, that will be called a backlink. So backlinks are super duper valuable when it comes to search engine optimization. Your content may need some real improvement. So posting content consistently means nothing if the people who see it aren't impressed or moved by it. Your content needs to be of quality and of value to the people who are receiving it, not just you. So a lot of times we create content because we think it's cute. We create content because we saw somebody else do it and we're like, oh, I want to try that. I want to do what she did. Her content performs well, so I'm going to do what she did. You got to remember that your job is to serve your target audience. What they're doing is serving their target audience. So you copying, even if it is good, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to produce the result that you want, which is, engagement and or sales. Your traffic may be lacking because you only prioritize social media marketing. There are various forms of marketing: influencer marketing, social media marketing, content marketing, email marketing, text marketing, affiliate marketing. So many other forms of marketing. The world is filled with many marketing opportunities outside of social media, which ultimately can drive traffic for your brand. You may not be sending enough emails. So every time you send an email, you should get some traffic. And it might not be a lot, but a little is better than none. Every person on your list won't take action every single time you send an email, but your job is to keep sending them to get the traffic that you need. So someone asked earlier how many emails to send. I always think about how much traffic I got from the emails and whether or not it was enough to help me get closer to the goal of how much traffic I needed that month, as well as how much sales I want to see coming from email that month. No paid advertising. So paid advertising advertises your brand and products consistently. It allows you to choose the audience you want to put your content in front of. And I'll also say that it allows your content to constantly be in front of people, because I don't know about y'all, but I go to sleep at a reasonable time most nights. I'll be at a bed 9, 10 o'clock, but my business is still getting promoted or advertised, shall I say, all day, every day, because I choose to run ads. So I get sales in the middle of the night, randomly 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not, sometimes I am, but very rarely am I on Instagram or sending an email or a text message or whatever. They saw an ad, and I don't know about y'all, but I be late night shopping sometimes. If there's nothing being marketed to me, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to purchase it. But if I see it and I like it, I don't know why, but I be nighttime scrolling and nighttime buying. So paid advertising matters. So here is some perspective. I've seen a lot of questions about ads. I know a lot of people wonder whether or not ads work and how they work and whether or not they're beneficial. So this is a viewpoint of some of my results, and I'm not just speaking to money, because we haven't even got to money yet. We're talking about just creating the visibility and attracting people. So this is data from April 19th, 2020 till May 19th of 2023. So you'll notice that these numbers are totally different. They go up and down. You're likely going to reach way more people than the number of people that go to your website. So I'm going to read from right to left instead of left to right. Impressions. I have had 9 million, almost 10 million, y'all. 9,977,273 times that my ads were seen. So the content that I choose to run or have chosen to run as ads from April 19th, 2020 to May 19th, 2023 has been seen almost 10 million times. 10 million. That's crazy. Social media could never. It would be so hard for my organic content to do that. Reach, and I can't control it on social media either. Reach. So reach is always going to be the number of people that you've reached. So my ads have reached 2.5 million people. Cost per landing page view. So this is how much it costs every time someone landed on my website. It cost me 45 cents. 45 cents. So this is the average. It averages out like all the ads that I've run over the course of this, what would that be, 2020, 21, 22, so like 4 years. All of the ads that I run in that duration of time, on average, it cost me 45 cents to get that person on that page. Y'all can't afford 45 cents to get somebody on your website, especially if your website is designed the way that it's supposed to be designed and it's organized. And you know, your images are great. The product descriptions are well written. You know, there's just, you know, your website is good and it should convert people. For 45 cents to get people there. I can do that. I can do that. Absolutely. And again, that's not saying it's going to cost 45 cents every time, but I just wanted to give you the perspective of how much it could be. There are times when it's much less than that. I may have a great ad that's running and it's costing me like 9 cents to get them on that page. I'd be so grateful. 9 cents? Absolutely. 100%. Landing page views. So that's the number of times that people have landed on my website as a result of the ad. So 173,599. Now I want y'all to look at the difference in landing page views versus reach. My business reached 2.5 million people, only 173,000 landing page views occurred out of all of that. So again, going back to, it takes on average 7 times for someone to see your content. Notice that I reached 2.5 million people in it, but my content was seen 9.9 million times. They need to see this content at least 7 times. why am I turning my ads off? Why am I not running ads at all? I got to make sure that y'all keep seeing my business. I need y'all to see all of the perspectives, all of the reviews. I need y'all to see the products. I need y'all to see what I'm running to sell. I need you to see all of that so that when and if your time comes, when and if you got the money, when and if we got the color, when and if we have the size that you need, whatever, when and if it's here, you saw it, you didn't miss it, it happened. So that's landing page views. We have link clicks. So the difference between link clicks and landing page views basically just lets you know how many people were willing to wait for your page to load. So my links were clicked 214,000 times, but only 173,000 of those link clicks resulted in a landing page view, meaning that they let my page load. And then unique link clicks is the number of people that clicked. So 144,512 people actually clicked the link. So that's out of 2.5 million that saw this content at some point. Only 144,000 clicked something crazy, right? So at the bottom, you'll see this is how much money I spent. And again, this is over 4 years, y'all. I definitely didn't come out the gate spending hundreds of dollars a week, let alone a day. Sometimes I still don't. It depends on the month. Sometimes my budget is a few thousand, sometimes it's a few hundred. It's not always the same. But over the course of 4 years, I've spent $78,790.19. And my business is made from ads, I don't know, probably $250,000 or something like that. Not every ad is a hit. Not all of them work well. Some of them are way better than others. I think that's on the next screen. But I wanted y'all to see the perspective of what happens with ads. When I'm trying to get some visibility and to attract some people, I'm gonna use an ad. If it's in my budget to do so, I'm gonna use an ad. So I have run 413 campaigns with 530 ad sets and 933 ads. And if those words don't make any sense to you because you don't know the difference between a campaign, an ad set, and ads, come to the membership. We break it down for you 100%. Those are three different elements of effective advertising. All right, so perspective from emails. So going back to the question that someone asked about how many emails to send, I forgot to erase this 413, so don't look at that. That is not relevant to this. So these are my emails from April and May of 2023. And actually, it doesn't include all of April, but we'll just look at May, for example. So this month, I have sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've spent six sent 6 emails this month thus far. And on the far right-hand side, you can see how much money I made from those campaigns. So $295, $1,100, $377, $305, $405, $91. So some people will say, well, that's not much. And I always say, well, I wouldn't have made that if I didn't send the email. I'd rather make the $91 than not make the $91. I'd rather make the $295 than not make the $295. Like, hello, duh. So never look at it like, oh, I only made. Think about it like, I wouldn't have made that if I did not send this email. And I just keep sending them. So literally the last 2 emails were pretty much the exact same. I sent last chance for buy one, get one 50% off. So when a email campaign doesn't perform well, or if I think that it should have performed better, I send it again. I think about who I want to send it to, and I send it again if I feel the need to do so. If we look at open rates, you can see the number of people that each email had open. So this top one, which was from, is today the 19th? I think this is today. Yeah, today. So this top one, when I sent, I don't know what time I took this screenshot, but only 213 people had opened it, which was 28.5% of the audience that I sent it to. 2.14% clicked it, and only 2 people purchased something. I'd rather the 2 than none. So these are my open rates. As you can see, it's never 100. It's never even close. I'm just like, let me keep on sending. I use Klaviyo for email marketing. All right, so perspective. So this is how many, I don't know why it says recipients, because really it's taking into account how many emails you sent and the total number of like people that were in each audience that you sent the emails to. But more importantly, I wanted you to see the unsubscribe rate at the bottom. So a lot of people tell me that they don't send a lot of emails, or they don't send emails often because they're scared that people are going to unsubscribe. I send however many emails I would like, never really considering whether or not people are going to unsubscribe, because I know that I sent these emails with good intent, and I know that I sent them with strategy. So literally 0.14% of my total audience that I've sent emails to in the course of the last 30 days have unsubscribed. Not even close to 1% of my audience has unsubscribed. Don't focus on the unsubscribes. Focus on the money that you want to make and the traffic that you need to produce the money that you want to make. So for anyone scared of people unsubscribing, that means your marketing wasn't for them. If they unsubscribed, the marketing was not for them. The people that stayed, the marketing was for them. That's it. That's all. All right, so additional last two reasons that your traffic might be lacking: no retargeting or re-engaging. So again, it takes an average of 7 interactions for a sale to occur. This may mean leading someone to your website 7 times before they make a purchase. This may require social media, email, SMS, and ads. And I use all of those. I use my social media to promote my business. I use emails to promote my business. I use text to promote my business, and I use advertising to promote my business. I also just added affiliate marketing to promote my business. Later in the year, not later, I would say later in the quarter, I'm going to add influencer marketing to promote my business, because I don't want to just rely on social media. I want to rely on all the methods that I think may work. I am willing to try them all versus assuming that one of them is not for me. Lastly, your content or your traffic might be lacking because of your content being shown to the wrong audience. So getting tons of engagement on your content won't matter if it's to the wrong audience. So it's important to create content that would be valuable to your target audience rather than just creating content for the sake of consistency. I always think about the beautiful women. Y'all are beautiful. Let me tell y'all. I think about the beautiful women who accidentally attract men in their comments all the time. I really hate that for y'all. And I don't know what to tell y'all to do to change that, because unfortunately, you can't get unbeautiful. You can't undo your body. You can't undo your curves or any of that. However, the algorithm is not favorable to you. And that is why I think it's so important to not rely on social media. Rely on people signing up for your emails so that you can continue to market to them that way, because Instagram is trash in that area. So as it pertains to traffic, you want to focus on optimizing for organic search, meaning keywords. You could also add a blog to your website, paid advertising, influencer marketing, creating and scheduling valuable content, public relations, send more emails and texts. You can have referral programs, affiliate marketing, a rewards program, creating backlinks, creating internal links. All of these things can help you to drive more traffic to your business. We need valuable traffic. We don't just need traffic for the sake of saying we had 100,000 people on our website. Content with no value will not drive valuable traffic. Add to carts plus conversions equal valuable traffic. You want to measure the amount of time spent on your website to define if the traffic is actually valuable or not. And you can measure the amount of time by looking at Google Analytics. All right, next is re-engagement. We're almost done. So re-engagement, let's see. So attraction creates visibility. We talked about attraction and then visibility. Visibility doesn't automatically translate into sales though. You will need to re-engage and retarget. So you have to always be thinking about the fact that these people ain't gonna buy from you. The first time that they see it, they're just not. It's just the large majority of them are not. So the bigger question is, how do I get back in front of them? What will I do to get back in front of them? So retargeting is an essential element of e-commerce. Retargeting is typically in relation to running ads. So getting back in front of those who've already been interested in your brand and products. So people who've engaged with your content, people who've sent you a DM, people who follow your profile, people who visited your website, people who visited a specific page, people who added to cart, people who initiated checkout. These are all areas of your business that you can retarget people with ads. You literally can go into the ads manager and say, I want to run an ad to someone who has engaged with my content in the last 14 days. I want to run an ad to someone who's added product to the cart in the last 30 days. I want to send an ad to people who purchased from me in the last 30 days. You literally have control over that 100%. You can also you can also send ads to people who sent you a DM, who commented, so on and so forth. Yes, this is recorded. Let's see. It's easier to convert someone who is already familiar than it is to convert a stranger. So Facebook has over 3 billion daily active users. Part of your job is to make your brand visible to as many of them as possible, but the other half of your job will be re-engaging and retargeting those who show interest. So don't think about likes as showing interest. Think about like people adding things to your cart, to their cart, as showing interest. People looking at your product pages as showing interest. I could like all the content in the world and not like anything about your I might not even know you selling me something, but I might think your content's beautiful. So you want to think about like who doesn't make sense for me to retarget. So these are examples of ads that I've run specifically to retarget people. So the top one is people who visited my website plus my email subscribers. I combined those two audiences to run a ad. You just send the email. Oh yeah, see, and I'm on here and I ain't pushed the button. Okay. So I spent $53.99 to target that audience. I made $679.08. That generated 10 purchases. And my return on ad spend was 12.58. So I made 12.5 times what I spent to make that $679, retargeting people who went to my website and people who were on my email list. And the next one, I was targeting people who engaged with my brand on social media. I spent $259. I made $1,258. That produced 21 purchases, and I made 4.85 times what I spent. And then the last one is an engaged audience. So this is like people who have engaged with a poster ad, been to my, it's just a combination of things, people who've engaged in a multitude of ways. So I spent $584. I made $3,054.27. That was 33 purchases, 5.23% return on investment. This is through my paid advertising. This is not through Klaviyo. So this is just to show you that retargeting is important. This is money that I would not have made if I did not retarget those people. If I did not put my products and my brand back in front of them, those are purchases that I would not have generated. If I had relied on Instagram to put my products back in front of them, Instagram is not on my side. Instagram is like, girl, if you don't put them ads, give us the money and we'll put it back in front of you. What kind of ads do you run? Yeah, that's paid advertising, Facebook and Instagram ads. I dabble in TikTok here and there, but not a lot. Automated emails are an essential element of e-commerce as well, and it's a great way to retarget people. So you can create what's called a browse abandonment email. This is specifically through Klaviyo. So this allows you to send an email to a subscriber who has viewed any product on your website at any point. You can send abandoned cart emails, which allow you to remind a potential purchaser about products that they left behind in their cart. You can send win-back emails, which are triggered after a certain amount of time has lapsed since the past customer made a purchase. So these are all examples of money you can make on automation simply because of an action that someone took. No, I don't use Klaviyo for SMS. I use Attentive. You can use automated communication, which can be essential to e-commerce as well. So comment responses, ask readers to comment a keyword and automate the response that they will receive. You can send automated responses in the DMs based on different topics that people have questions about. You can send story replies. So you can automate your replies when someone replies to your stories with certain keywords. And I put at the bottom what I use for this. I use a service called ManyChat, and this is also great for lead generation. So you can literally have people comment a word, it will send them an automated message. You can ask them to give you their email address, and you can connect your email provider with ManyChat, and it'll know if this person put an email address in as a reply to add them to a specific list in your email service. Kim, someone spelled it right above you. Klayvio. So as it relates to retargeting or re-engaging, focus on retargeting ads, emails, and texts based on on-site behavior, and then automated social responses for lapsed communication. All right, and now the finale, conversion. So how do I make this money? If I did all that, I done got the visibility, I attracted them, I got the emails, I ran some ads, I retargeted them, so on and so forth. At this point, the conversion should be easy because you did the work. You did the work of an e-commerce brand. If you have not done any of these things, prioritized any of these things, didn't know that you were supposed to focus on any of these things, it just means that you didn't have as much awareness as you may have thought you had as it pertains to e-commerce. And that's okay. That's why we're here. So now having the understanding of what what it actually takes in e-commerce to get people's attention, let alone potentially get a purchase. Now we can talk about conversions. So we typically get the most conversions or sales when we're launching something. And if this isn't the case and you aren't making sales when you launch, that means you're doing something wrong. Point blank, period. You should absolutely be making money when you launch something, but you also need a launch strategy. So when I speak of launch strategy, I'm not just saying like launching a business. I believe that launching never stops. If you are releasing a new product, you are releasing a new collection, that means that you are launching something. And that means that you should have a strategy. And part of that strategy should be lead generation, because if you can get their email address or if you can get their phone number, that means you have an audience of people who actually signed up for your email list because they wanted to know what you were launching. They wanted to be the first to get their hands on it. That's the easiest way to know whether or not you're about to get some sales when you launch something. So it's important to know what influences buying, because I don't just choose to buy something just because it's in front of me, and the typical consumer does not. So when it comes to products, they're divided into product categories. So there's hard goods and there's soft goods, and there's like general like home products. So as it relates to home goods, this is literally from there's a service on Google. I want to say it's called Think with Google. It shows you a graph of what actually impacts people's buying decisions in each of those categories. So this is related to hard goods, which includes electronics, appliances, sports equipment, toys, tools, auto parts. On the left is less influential things that impact their purchase behavior. On the right is most influential. So I'm gonna just read some of the most influential. As it relates to hard goods, they're looking for the lowest price of the item. So if you think about like Fashion Nova always has a sale, to a consumer, it's that to them seems like the lowest price, even though they actually may have wanted to make the amount that they're selling that product for. So they're looking for lowest price. They're looking for free shipping. They want a sale, a discount, a promotion, product availability. So they're wondering like, how many do you have? Is the product limited in quantity? Product specs like battery life, customer item reviews, fast delivery, estimated delivery date and time, cross-store price comparison. So they want to know like how much is someone else selling their product for. And again, on the left, we have the less influential, which is also just as important, because all the things that we think might matter might not actually matter to them. So let's look at soft goods. Soft goods is clothes, shoes, home decor, towels, jewelry, watches, so on and so forth. So most influential, people want to sell, a discount, a promotion. And this graph changes over time. So y'all know we in a recession. We just in a recession at this point. People ain't got no money. They ain't got money like they did during the height of the pandemic. There ain't no stimulus checks no more. People like, I want to shop still, but I want a discount. I want to sell on promotion. Literally every day this week, except for I want to say Monday maybe, I have been running some form of a sale, not publicly, but like through my emails. I've been intentionally choosing who I'm going to send what promotion to. So for example, today I'm running a promotion for dresses, 25% off dresses. The email that I sent only went to people who viewed my dress collection in the last, I think, 60 days, and people who have purchased the dress over all time. So instead of me sending that promotion to my whole list, I sent it to just my email list. I mean, just the people who are interested in dresses. So I understand that people want a discount at this point. Like I can still sell things at full price and so on and so forth. But like, if I understand that a sale and a discount is going to get you moving, well, gosh darn it, let me see how much of a sale I can give you to get this money. The lowest price for the item, they care about free shipping, selection of colors and sizes, product availability, size chart or dimensions, fast delivery, customer item reviews, easy returns, estimated delivery date and time, brand bought from before. And I forgot to mention at the bottom, it tells you the average amount of money per month that consumers spend in this category. So the average consumer is spending about $99 on average for soft goods each month. And the average number of times that they purchased soft goods this month is 4.6 times in the past month. And I was going to mention one of these. Oh, one of these. So just to give you an example, when I first launched my business, I did not offer returns because I was too scared that I was going to have to give somebody their money back. But I was actually hindering my ability to make money because I was trying to keep their money. They were like, oh, I'm not giving you my money in the first place because I don't know anything about your business. You don't have any reviews. You don't have any of the details that I actually need to make this decision, like for real. I wasn't making no money, but I added a return policy. Guess what? I started making money. Crazy, right? So just knowing what actually impacts purchase behavior is super impactful. And these are all things that we can add. We can all run a sale. We can all like see what happens when we give a product a lower price. We can all offer free shipping to see what happens. We can all get a different color or potentially different sizes. We can all potentially increase the availability of a product, get more of it, potentially depending on what it is. We can all add a size chart. We can all ship a little faster. We could all get some reviews or prioritize collecting reviews. We could all add a return policy. We could all make sure that people know what the estimated delivery date and not time, but delivery date is. We could all do that. Those are all doable things. It's just a matter of knowing that that's what matters. And then these are just everyday essentials, which include health and beauty products, packaged food, pet products, cleaning and office supplies, things of that nature. So in this category, they care about the lowest price for the item, free shipping, sale and discount or promotion. And this is in order from most important to least important. Fast delivery, product availability, price per unit, brand bought from before, estimated delivery date and time, cross-store price comparison. So those are all beneficial. So as it relates to conversions, focus on these. And again, I mentioned conversion should be a breeze once you clarify the other 4 steps that we talked about. Creating a launch schedule if possible, incentives like coupons and free shipping, increasing the sense of urgency through your messaging, upselling items that add value to the purchase for the consumer, leveraging social proof and reviews, using video to demonstrate value when it makes sense, sending abandoned cart emails and texts. Don't rely on just one follow-up. I literally send up to 7 abandoned cart reminders, not just 1, not just 2. I send 7. If it takes 7, because guess what? Remember, it takes on average 7 times for someone to make a purchase. And 7 doesn't have to be your limit. That's just my limit. Up to 7 times is how many times I'm willing to remind you about a cart that you left behind. Retargeting with paid advertising using chatbot automations. Jasmine, I use ManyChat. ManyChat. All right, so marketing drives sales, period. You will need to develop your marketing and sales cycle. Determine where you will spend time and where you will spend your money. Determine what platforms you will use as marketing and sales employees. So I talked a little bit earlier about like, I didn't have any employees. I still don't have very many employees, but I think about all these marketing tools and channels as employees. For example, Klaviyo is my #1 top employee. It's the employee of the month. Every month, I'm like, you make me so much money. I want to give you a gold star. I'm gonna put you on the wall. Thank you so much. Klaviyo is a employee to my business, 100%, period. I use Attentive for for text marketing. Attentive is an employee. They have a role. They have responsibilities. They need to generate a certain percentage of my revenue. They need to drive traffic for my business, period. Are they gonna get fired? I'm gonna go find another platform. I will go find another platform if I need to. So this is my sales cycle, and my sales tools. So I use social media ads for driving traffic, for retargeting, for attraction, for visibility. These are some of the ads that I've run over the course of time. This one I spent $11,000. I made 53. This is again over time, not in one sitting, not in one day, not in 1 month, not in 1 year. $11,000. I made 53,000. $3,997 spent. I made $19,000. $3,481. I made $16,000. $5,100 spent. Made $13,440. I made $9,681. These are the purchases that I generated from just those 1 ad. When you find an ad that works, let that thing keep working. Don't touch it unless it makes sense to touch it. If it's working well, increase the budget. Don't ever turn it off. Even when I have a bad couple of days, I am not turning the ad off because no, it works. 898 purchases from that ad, 280 from that ad, 252 from that ad, 225 from this one, 165 from this one. I'm not turning those off until it makes sense for me to turn them off. If it works, let it keep working. I've never used TDO. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I've never used that. Where can I find a chart for hard products you were just showing? It's Think with Google. If you type in Think with Google and then hard goods buying influences, I think it's what it's called. Is the ads on Instagram and Facebook? Yeah, those are both Instagram and Facebook. So these are my numbers from email marketing. As you guys may know, again, I use Klaviyo. So these are my numbers over the course of time. From 2020, in 2020, I made $21,757 from email marketing in Klaviyo. But my automations, my revenue from email marketing is split across campaigns, which are the emails that you log in and send and design, and then flows in Klaviyo are your automated emails. So I made 19,538 from the campaigns, 2,219 from the flows. In 2021, which is when I ramped up my marketing, I was like, okay, I need to get these automations set up. So I mentioned a bunch of the automations I have at this point. I need to get these automations set up because, yeah, I need to make some more money. I can see that I saw that they made money. I need them to make more money. So the following year, I made over $100,000 more sending emails. Over $100,000 more. I made $70,000 more for my campaigns. I made $89,006, and I made $40,000 more from my automated emails. Flows, $42,000 from emails that I didn't have to log in and send myself. I just set them up and let them run in the background. $42,000. I couldn't have made that the previous year because I didn't have them set up. They didn't exist. It was not a thing. And then the following year, I basically kept the same. I had all the flows set up. It was pretty consistent. There wasn't much change in how email marketing played a role in my business, but it was consistent. And I like consistency. Consistency is my favorite. And that's what we want, right? Consistent sales. So I literally made 131,000 in 2021. And in 2022, I made 134. Campaigns in 2021 was 89,000. Campaigns in 2022 was 85. Flows was 42,000 in 1 year and then 49,000 in the next. You just got to set them up. It takes some time. I ain't gonna lie. It takes some time to get them set up. But once they set up, they work. And then we have text marketing. Mind you, I didn't have email marketing when I started. I didn't have text marketing. I wasn't running ads consistently. But then I had to tell myself, okay, girl, if you want to make consistent money, you're going to have to consistently market, both organically and paid. So 2020, I made $26,000 from text marketing. 2021, I made $107,000 from text marketing. And then 2022, I actually switched at the end of the year. I switched my text marketing platform. So this is from SMS Bump, which is what I used to use before Attentive. I made $56,000 from text marketing. This is what I use now, or the analytics from what I use now, Attentive. And this is for the year thus far. This is how many text subscribers I've gained, 5,706. This is how many people unsubscribed. So out of that, 702 unsubscribed. I'm not mad at that at all. Revenue, 27,000 made. Campaigns is 16,000. Journeys, which is automated. So these are automated texts over here. $11,152 from automated text messages. And this is how many texts I've sent, literally from day one, or day one of me having the Attentive. 99,805. That's it. Send them. I love it. I switched because I had a free trial with Attentive. They gave me a 30-day free trial. So I literally used both of them for 30 days to see which one I enjoy using more. And I enjoyed the functionality of Attentive, but I don't have any complaints about SMS Bump. SMS Bump is cheaper. It's a little bit more user-friendly, in my opinion. Attentive is a bit more advanced, in my opinion. And it definitely costs more money. And they make you sign a contract, which kind of sucks. You have to sign at least a year contract. Okay, so speaking of my sales cycle, we talked about attraction, visibility, sales, lead generation, all those things. So I use Instagram and Facebook for reach and awareness, and this is both free and paid. So whether I'm posting on my feed, which is free, or if I'm running ads, paid, I use Facebook and Instagram for awareness and reach, period. Automation and advertising, prospecting, and retargeting for lead generation, paid. So I use automated emails and texts and things like that to find new people. To serve new people. I use social media to potentially get people on my website so that I can grow my email list. I also use landing pages. Instead of showing them a link to my website, I send them a link to a landing page so they can sign up for my email list, so on and so forth. I use emails and texts and ads for lead nurturing. So once you have the subscriber, you got to nurture the relationship with them. I use email, text, and ads for sales. I use upsells and cross sales to increase my average order value. And I use loyalty and rewards programs to increase customer retention. So these are the tools I use because y'all been asking about all the tools. So screenshot, here's the tools. These are all the tools that I use and what I use them for. So I use Instagram, Facebook, TikTok a little bit for visibility. And I tag my products. I use keywords. I use reels, things like that. Those are great for creating visibility. Keywords matter, period. Automation and lead generation. I use mini chats, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, giveaways. For nurturing my subscribers, I use Klaviyo, SMS. Well, I used to use SMS Bump, Attentive, and then advertising again. For sales, Klaviyo, Attentive, ads. For upsells and cross sales, I use a Shopify app called One Click Upsell. For my reviews, I use an app called Judge.me. For restock alerts, I use Back in Stock. For loyalty and rewards, I use Rise.ai. And for affiliate marketing, which I just actually started using, I use a company called Social Snowball. So screenshot. The only thing I use for AI is ChatGPT. That's it. That is all. So this is money I've made on automation, abandoned carts, welcome series, thank you series, things like that. 17,000, 7,800, 7,100, 3,400 automated. Love that. Automated text marketing, 988, 1,000, 5,900, 12,000, 9,100, 3,900, 11,000 text marketing automated. I did nothing. I just set it up. So as it pertains to attraction, we talked about all the things that you should focus on. Clarify what you want to sell. Clarify who you want to sell it to. Doing brand research to identify your competitors and finding inspiration. Clarify how it should be presented to that audience visually. Clarify how you will talk about your brand verbally. The ChatGPT class is next Tuesday. I think it's the 23rd. Come through, girl. Clarify how you want to talk about your brand verbally. Create a mood board. For visibility, clarify. Oh, that's the same one. For traffic, optimize for organic search, paid advertising, influencer marketing, create a schedule, public relations, send more emails, referral programs, affiliate marketing, rewards programs, backlinks, internal links. For re-engagement, retargeting ads, emails, and text based on on-site behavior, automated social responses for lapsed communication. And then for conversions, create a launch schedule if possible, incentives like coupons and free shipping, increase the sense of urgency through your messaging. So like this sale ends in 2 hours. There's only 4 left. There's only 1 left. Upselling items that add value to the purchase, leveraging your social proof and reviews, use video to demonstrate value when it makes sense, send abandoned cart emails, and text. Don't rely on just one follow-up. Retarget with paid advertising. Use chatbot automations, period. So how we feeling? I can't believe 217 of y'all are still here. Let's take a post break. How are we feeling? We are literally almost done. We are at the brink of dawn. How are we feeling? Feeling good, feeling a little bit more clear, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. How are we feeling? Overwhelmed. Okay, I get it. It's a lot. It's so much. Business is so much, and people really underestimate it, honestly, truly. I underestimated it, honestly, truly. Honestly, feeling good, rewarding though, very much clear and ready, rejuvenated. I love it. Clarity and focus, enlightened. Oh, I love that word. I love it. Tired just looking at all this. Listen, I literally tell people I have never been more tired than I am as an entrepreneur. I've never felt this way in my life. It's crazy. I want to take a moment to answer a few of these questions that are in the Q&A box, and then we'll go through these last couple slides. So Janaya asks, when do you suggest getting an app? I would not suggest getting the app until you have an actual sales and marketing process in place. So if you don't currently have a email marketing strategy, a social media content strategy, like if you're not already actively and consistently marketing to your audience, the app will not serve you because you actually have to market the app as well. You have to convince people to not only download the app, but then you also got to send notifications through the app to get people to open the app. And the app is going to cost you money. The platform that I use is called TapCart. I think someone mentioned it earlier in the chat. And I want to say that it costs like $399 minimum per month, up into like $1,200 per month. So I would recommend getting an app when you have a loyal audience that you believe will download it, but two, when you have a marketing strategy in place. Let's see. She also asked, how would you reach out to others to become models to your brand? Just reach out. So the model that I have for the newest model that I have for both of my boutique brands, I found her on Instagram. I literally sent her a DM and she had her email address listed. I told her, hi, my name is Janice. I'm the owner of these brands. I love your pictures and I would love for you to model for my brand. Could you please send me your rates if you're interested? And that was it. And then she responded back and told me she was interested. She told me her rates. We agreed upon a rate, and then I invited her to the next shoot. That was it. Danielle asks, do you need business credit to purchase your inventory or you use your own money? So I've never used business credit. I do have a business credit card at this point, but I have never had any grants. I've never had any loans other than like Shopify Capital. So when you start to make a certain amount of money from Shopify, they will literally offer you money that you have to pay back, obviously, but I've never had like business credit to help me buy my inventory. It was all money from my bank. Unfortunately, I wish somebody would just give me some money. How do you clearly identify target audience without sales trends? So I don't think it's a matter, personally, I don't think it's a matter of looking at your current audience to decide who your audience is. I think it's a matter of you clarifying what your brand is. Like, what do you intend for this to be? What do you intend to continue to sell over time? And who do you think will be best served by this? If you think about the brands that like, I'll use, I'm going to use Michael Kors as an example. So I'm going to say like 2015 or so. I used to work at Michael Kors, and part of our onboarding was like going through the brand guidelines, how we had to dress as employees and who their customer was and so on and so forth. That's a decision that they made. They didn't just say like, we're going to wait and see who purchases our products and then we're going to sell to them. Michael Kors, the owner of the brand, they target his ideal customer was his mother. I don't know why I remember this, but his ideal customer was his mother. And he decided that his customers were jet setters. They were women who are jet setters. So if you look at Michael Kors' Instagram or look at like a lot of their content, it's a lot of like women walking. It's a lot of women like on the go, women getting off a jet, women like moving. That's on purpose. They decided that their audience are women in motion, women who jet set, women who travel, women who are on the go. So I always remembered that as a explanation of what it meant to have a target audience. And so all those bags and stuff that they sell, even like the shoes that they sell, a lot of the shoes are super comfortable because their woman is like in a heel, but she's walking in that heel. So it's not like a Christian Louboutin where it's like hella uncomfortable and don't nobody want to walk in it. They're like, no, we understand that our girl is going to wear a heel and she's going to be walking in that heel. So it needs to be comfortable. Like some of my most comfortable heels are heels that I purchased from Michael Kors. So hopefully that's helpful. Kimberly asks, what should I be posting on Instagram at this time? My launch is 3/11/2023. 3/11. Okay, I'm gonna guess you meant a future date. It's a 3/11. So the only thing you should be posting is your products. And if you don't have any content of your products, then your launch is not actually an effective launch. When you launch, when you open the doors to your business, the people that follow your business the people who are interested in your business and your products should already be on your email list so that you can market to them. And the only way that they're going to sign up for your email list and actually be excited about purchasing is if they know what is going to be available to them when your business launches. So the only thing you should be posting at this point is your products. They should know what's to come, and you should be giving them all the details, all the colors, the fabric. You should be answering any questions that you think that they may have so that when you say it's available, they purchase, period. Sue J says, what's the most effective way to build an email list? Depends. Every brand is different. So I'm gonna give you all an example. Skims builds their email list every single week using the same method. They launch a new collection every single week, and every single week they post that collection throughout their stories. And at the end of the stories, they have a link that says, sign up to get notified when this drops. So kind of going back to the previous question, you don't ever want to just drop something to drop it, expecting people to purchase. Kim ain't dropping stuff just expecting people to purchase. They literally show you what's coming. They show you the colors. They show it to you on different bodies. And then they give you a link. And it says, click this link to sign up when this drops. I always say lead generation should be everybody's priority. And I always use Skims as my example of lead generation because they're so good at it and they do it every single week. So it's really a matter of you like knowing what all of your options are to grow your email list and trying them all versus it being like, there's one specific way that I should be going about it. So I use landing pages. I use giveaways to grow my email list. I use sales to grow my email list. Like, for example, I've done a sale in the past where it's like, I'll let you know 2 days before the sale happens that a sale is coming. And I'll say the only way that you're going to get the coupon code for this sale is if you join my email list. Guess what? Anybody who's interested in purchasing and maybe the price has been a little bit too high, they're going to sign up. So you just got to do it. You just got to say it. Sign up for our email list to get notified when this occurs. Yes, that's called a call to action. Yes, ma'am. So that was for Sue J. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Josette. When you first started out, how much should you spend on inventory and should you attend a trade show first or visit the fashion district? So to answer the first question, there's no right or wrong amount of money to spend because the amount of money you spend is going to play a role in how much money you can make. So for example, one person may say, I have $500 available to spend and I want my inventory to have at least a 70% profit margin, which basically is you creating the value of your inventory, which is also you saying how much money you could potentially make if you sell that inventory. While someone else is going to say, I have $5,000 to spend on inventory, and I too want to have a 70% profit margin when I price this inventory. And they're going to have a significantly higher potential revenue inventory value, which means they have a significantly higher revenue potential than the next person. So there's no right and wrong amount. It's really just you setting a budget first and foremost of how much money you can afford to spend, and then clarifying like how you want to spend it. Am I going to spend it all in one place? Am I going to spend it all in one category? Do I want to have a certain quantity of products? And then also how do I want to price it? Because the pricing is going to play a role in how much money you could potentially make. Because if I sell $100 products, that equals one thing. But if I sell 10 $100 products, that equals something totally different. So think about it that way. Okay, I'm adding one more in here and then we'll go back to the slides. Vanessa says, is it better to run an ad, getting someone to help you run it properly, or paid influencer? It depends. I think they're both valuable. So a ad can be used for a multitude of things. When you log into the ads platform, when you go to create an ad, the first thing it's going to have you do is choose your objective. So it's going to say, do you want traffic? Do you want leads, aka email subscribers? That's answering the question for someone above. You can even use ads to grow your email list. It's going to ask you, do you want awareness? It's going to ask you if you want video. I don't know if video views is an option anymore. I know it'll ask if you want sales, so on and so forth. It asks you what you want. And all of those are valid objectives to me, because again, we talked about not rushing to sales. Most people are like, I want sales, I'm gonna choose sales, but you might just need traffic right now. You might need just the engagement. So an ad is going to give you more control over the result that you're going to get. A influencer gives you control over the audience that you're going to get in front of, but it does not give you much of an idea of the result that you're going to get from the performance of your content. So it really depends. I'm currently building my business and website. How many sets should I be selling at first? No right or wrong answer. No one can tell you how much to spend. No one can tell you how many products to sell. Nobody can tell you how much to price it for. Those are all decisions that should be made with a goal, which is what we talked about at the very beginning. Your goals should dictate every action that you take. If I say I want to make $5,000 when I launch this collection, I got to decide, is that $5,000 in that day, $5,000 in a week, $5,000 in a month? And then I also got to decide or figure out like how much inventory that is, which means that has to play a role in the pricing and the quantities that I purchase. If I have 20 products priced at $10, I don't have $5,000 worth of inventory, which means I can't make $5,000. So Nobody can tell you how much is right or wrong, how many you need or anything like that. You got to set a goal first and then work backwards. Okay, let me go back to this. So today we discussed why your brand may not be succeeding. We discussed it, tons of reasons, and everybody's reason is not going to be the same. Some people don't have the inventory. Some people don't have the traffic. Some people don't have the proper content. Some people don't know who their target audience is. So many different things. So we also discussed what to focus on to make improvements. So as you go through, if you watch the replay or as you look through your notes, think about where in those steps that we went through, you're lacking. Am I lacking in attraction first and foremost? And am I lacking in visibility? Am I not prioritizing lead generation? Maybe you have an audience that's like super engaging, but you're not actually like going to getting people on your email list. That's going to suck. Think about where it makes sense for you to focus to make improvements. But you also have to figure out how. So a lot of the questions that you guys are asking in the question box are how. How do I do this? How do I do that? How? And those aren't things that can be answered in 2 sentences at all. A lot of it is going to be, first and foremost, again, you setting a goal and then being able to work backwards. So even from the standpoint of like your revenue goal, you can say, I want to make this amount of money. I want to target this person. I want to sell these products. I want to price it this way. But you still got to create a launch strategy. You still got to create a lead generation strategy. You got to create a conversion strategy. You got to create an email marketing strategy. If you're running ads, an ad strategy. There's so many things. So we also have to think about the how to implement the necessary changes into your business. So there's a lot of money to be made, obviously. There are 8 billion people in this world. I don't know how many of them got money. I don't know how much money they got. But I do know that the market says that there is a lot of money, like trillions of dollars out there that could, a portion of them could be in your pocket or in your bank account. All you have to do is go after it, you know? So no matter what you choose to sell, whether it be a physical product, a digital product, whether it be clothes, shoes, accessories, makeup, lashes, hair, home goods, whatever, you will need a marketing plan and tools to help you to succeed. So we talked about like, you know, the marketing tools. I use Klaviyo, I use Attentive, I have used SMS Bump. I use Facebook and Instagram organically, but also paid. I use TikTok here and there. I just added an affiliate marketing tool. Like there's all these things that are at our fingertips to be used. But the problem with most people or within most people's world is that they don't know how to make all those things work together. And they go and try to use all of them at one time. And it's like, okay, I don't actually know why this isn't working. They all got to work together. And that's where I went wrong. That's where many people go wrong. We want to do all the things, but all the things aren't actually designed to work together. So I can help you with that. I've seen some of you guys ask about the membership. The membership is $97 a month. You get access to all of the classes that are already in there and literally immediately. There's nothing locked. You can literally go in there and type into the search bar what you want to learn: ads, content, emails, TikTok. We're having a chat GPT class next week. I don't know. There's so many things in there. And not only do you get to learn from me, you get to learn from guest experts that I brought in. There's literally 2 years worth of classes inside of there at your disposal. There are a lot of experts that I have worked with personally, who have helped me in a multitude of ways, people that I follow, people that I trust, and that I trust to be experts in their field. I've literally brought them in to help my students. And y'all may have saw some of them pop up in the comments earlier. Again, if you have questions about anything, hit them up. They in the comments, honestly. So just remember that you're not alone. So how would it feel to complete the year knowing that you have a clear roadmap for execution and implementation to not only drive sales, but increase your profitability? Because again, the business is not just about driving traffic. We can drive traffic. You can TikTok all day. You can twirl and do them little dances and, you know, post them reels with the trending sounds and all those things. But there's so much to consider. And at the end of the day, you could drive all the sales, you could get all the traffic, but it might not be profitable. We talked very briefly about like pricing plays such a huge part in your profitability. If you're going to run ads, that means you're spending money. So now you're going to spend money on the ads, and you're also spending money on the inventory, and maybe you're working with influencers, and now you got all these apps and platforms and things like that. your expenses are increasing, you got to make sure that all of that makes sense, you know? So I want to make sure that when you guys leave here, that you have somewhat of a clear roadmap of where you're going and what you want to do and what it makes sense for you to try now and what it does not make sense for you to try now, but maybe that you can try later, you know? So here is where and how you can do just that. If you do not know, I am hosting my very first conference this summer, July 21st to the 23rd. It's in Chicago. And you can learn more at theboutiqueacademy.com/sales in the city. And this conference is very near and dear to my heart because I have literally been on Zoom for 4 years straight coaching. Again, if you join the membership, tons of Zoom calls inside of there, hours and hours. I mean, hundreds of hours of classes for you to take and learn from, and a community of engaging women from all over the world to help you, as well as myself. But this conference is my first time ever doing something live. It's 3 days long, 3 full days. I'm talking like 7 to 8 hours of literally learning marketing and sales strategy and helping you to piece together a lot of the things that we've talked about today. So just a few details about the conference in case you're wondering. It's July 21st to the 23rd in Chicago. 3 days straight of marketing and sales strategy. Guest experts who are some of the best in their field. I don't play about guests because I don't trust nobody, and I don't think very many people are as smart as they try to make you believe that they are personally. So the guests are top tier. You will gain access to 3 live trainings prior to the conference. So we just did our first live training. We have our next live training in next week, actually. And then we'll have one more in June. You'll have access to that when you join our private community for all the conference attendees. And then you also have a discounted hotel booking link, which is also our conference venue. So this is a picture of the room where the conference will take place. You can save 15% off of your conference ticket with code webinar15 at checkout. And there's a limited amount of those coupon codes available. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna tell y'all who. So this is some pictures of the venue. I love an aesthetic situation. I love places where you can take some good pictures and create some good content. Because if we're boutique owners, child, we're trying to create content wherever we go. So I intentionally chose a venue that was beautiful. And Chicago is beautiful in the summer. So I'm very excited about that. And here are 2 of our guest speakers. So we actually have about 4 guest speakers, but I wanted to tell you guys 2 of the guest speakers that will be there. So the first guest speaker is Marty Woodard. You may follow him on social media. If you do not, you should definitely follow him. He is like the king of content creation. He simplifies content in a way that just makes all the sense in the world. And I've literally been telling Marty that he needed to come into the Boutique Academy for so long. And I was like, you're just gonna come to the conference at this point. So Marty's coming to the conference and he is hosting a session specifically for product-based businesses. A lot of his content is directed towards like service providers and coaches and things like that. But Marty's background is actually in product-based business marketing. He is a marketing expert. He works in marketing for product-based businesses. So Marty will be there. I'm very excited about that. And then the second guest speaker is Vanessa Walker, who is the owner of Fancy Homebody. She is an she's amazing at what she does, first and foremost. Such a beautiful and down-to-earth woman. But I invited Vanessa because not only do I love her brand, I love what she's created. She really understands marketing. She also has a marketing background. She went to school for marketing. Prior to her starting her business, she had a very nice marketing job where she was very well paid. So I wanted to make sure that the guest speakers that I invite to the conference are experts at marketing, people who actually understand how business is supposed to be run. So definitely follow them. Their tags are here underneath their pictures. But yeah, these are 2 of the guest speakers. So I'm very excited to have you guys in the room. I know a few of you have already bought tickets. The link to the conference is theboutiqueacademy.com/sales-in-the-city. And the link is also in my bio too, if you need to get to it quickly. But yeah, so you guys are invited. Get 15% off with code webinar15. And yes, I'm very excited. So if you have any questions about the conference or anything like that, let me know. Follow me on Instagram if you are not already, because my Instagram is popping. I'm real regular on there, child. Let me tell y'all, I took my extensions out and then I was like, I have a webinar today. Why did I take my extensions? I was so upset with myself. It was so funny to me. Vanessa's handle is at Fancy Homebody. That's her at. And then her business is Shop Fancy Homebody. I'll answer a couple more of these questions in the Q&A box before we get off here, because I know it's late for some of you guys. Let's see. Scroll back up. Ooh. Oh yeah, join my subscription on Instagram. So Berlin, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, so apologies if I'm not. She says, how far into your business did you switch to a model? I got a model in, I want to say October or November of 2020. So I was in business just under 2 years. So I modeled for about 2 years of my business and then let somebody else start doing it. And I slowly like inched out of modeling. She and I modeled together first, and then I just like transitioned myself out and I added plus size. So then I added a plus size model so that there would still be 2. Let's see. Jasmine said, I'm having trouble with creating an ad on Facebook. It gives me error messages about my ad account and Pixel ID. I've tried all the how-to YouTube videos, Facebook support, and everything. Please help. So Jasmine, I can't help you in this setting, but I don't know if you're in the membership or not, but it's likely an issue between your Pixel ID and your ad account ID. So there's 3 IDs, and it's so confusing. There are 3 IDs in your ad account. There is your ad account ID, your business ID, and your Pixel ID. So you want to make sure that the appropriate ID is located in the appropriate places, but also you got to make sure that the Pixel ID is assigned to the appropriate ad account as well. Lanisha says, my biggest concern or issue I have is marketing. What are some easy ways to figure the correct way to market? How many times should an email or text be sent out to not annoy the customer? Everybody's preferences are different. So in all aspects, think about yourself. Think about yourself and what would annoy you. And that's not to say that everybody's preferences are going to be the same, but I want you to think about like how many emails you receive in a day and whether or not you are annoyed by all of them. Even think about if you open all of them. Think about what time of the day you pick up your phone to open your emails, if at all. Some people don't open their emails but once a week, maybe once a month. So I never think, am I annoying people? What you want to focus on is email segmentation, which is basically you segmenting your audience, your email subscribers into groups based on similarities that they have. So for example, I have email subscribers of people who have purchased from me before. I have people who purchase from specific collections. I have people who purchase specific colors, specific sizes, who are in specific regions of the world or in the country, so on and so forth. You can even segment depending on what platform you use, segment based off of products that they view, products that they purchase, so on and so forth. So that is how you eliminate the likelihood that you're marketing to someone too much. When you are sending emails to a segment, you're being more targeted in your efforts versus sending an email to your entire list. That's spammy, actually, to send an email. Especially if you, like, I can send an email every single day if I wanted to, just as long as I have the clarity of who it makes sense to send that email to. Jasmine said, I recently moved from Wix to Shopify and Klaviyo. How do you create a landing page to obtain emails and SMS subscribers without it being a pop-up on my homepage? So in Klaviyo, you can create what's called a subscriber page or an embedded form. Either one of those will suffice. Or you can use a Shopify app like Shogun or Pagefly. Those will both let you build a landing page where you can collect email subscribers. Lauren said, when sourcing out for help, what platforms do you recommend has good quality that is affordable? So quality is subjective. Everybody's definition of quality is different. When I am looking for help, I look for help in the same places that I would have looked for a job. So Indeed, LinkedIn, literally, like we all have to think about ourselves as true business owners. If I have a business, where would a business post a job? Not, I'm going to go look for someone's resume. Like, I have a job that I need to fulfill and it has specific responsibilities. So Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor. I don't know if Glassdoor posts jobs or not. What job boards? That's where you want to look, because that's where people who are looking for a job are going to look. Um, I'm wondering what these strategies work for drop shipping. I have a store, and once my store is clear to start, where do I begin? Yeah, all of this works for drop shipping. So I personally don't believe that you having a drop shipping business means that you don't need to have a branding and marketing strategy. I think that depending on what you sell, your branding and marketing may not need to be as extensive, but I definitely think that every brand should have a email. Like, people are still going to abandon their cart. People are still going to visit your website and not purchase. They still need to be re-engaged and retargeted and need to be continuously marketed to, for sure. When starting out, when you don't want to offer free shipping, do you offer shipping at a discounted price because instead of what USPS is actually offering? No. So I would highly recommend that you offer shipping at the price that it's going to cost you to ship it out, unless you're going to factor shipping into your pricing. If you factor shipping into your pricing, then absolutely you can do shipping for a flat rate of $9 or $7 or whatever you choose. But if you're not going to take that price into or add the inflated shipping into the price of the product, then you want to charge the appropriate amount for shipping, for sure. Can you discuss how to find a marketing company if I'm not that good at marketing? So I don't recommend finding a marketing company unless you have clarity in exactly who you sell to, exactly what you sell. Like, you should be able to give them, like, for example, the email that some of you guys mentioned that you received while we were on here from me. I hired someone to do my email marketing for the Boutique Academy. I send like the newsletters because I want those to sound like me, but I ain't got time to sit in there all day. I literally was able to fill out a questionnaire, tell them everything that they needed to know about my business, about my brand, even like even these graphics that y'all see on the screen. I didn't create these. I gave that to someone. I told her like what colors I wanted. Like there's, I don't know if y'all can see it, but very faintly in the corner, there's a $sign, the colors, like, I didn't do that, but I was able to say to someone, hello, this is what I would like to be created. Can you help me with that? So if you can give them direction, absolutely. And I think it's just a matter of Googling, honestly, but Googling and not going with the first result that you see. Like, you got to do your due diligence and get on the phone with people and measure their, I don't know, trustworthiness, like have a true conversation with those people and try to have discernment of whether or not this person is trying to scam you and take your money, or if this person actually like cares about your brand. Because even, for example, like I mentioned, somebody did these graphics for me, somebody's doing my email marketing. There were lots of options as far as who could have done it, but it was a matter of like, what is your track record? Who have you worked with? What have been your results for other people? Like, are there other people that I could actually go talk to and say, did you enjoy working with these people? Did you actually get what you paid for? Or do you feel like you were, gypped of your money? So I would say think about those things. And Instagram is a great place to find people too, for sure. Phyllis X, what's the most you've spent on ads in a month? I think like $4,500 is the most that I've spent in a month on ads. So not too shabby. And the most that I've made in a month is like $76,000, $78,000 or something like that. So 45, and that probably was the same month that I spent 4,500 if I had to guess. So not a ton in relation to what I made. Okay, let me answer a couple more. Then we're gonna get out of here. How much revenue have you made from your app? Great question. I have no idea. Hold on, let's go look. Let's go look. So I mentioned that I had a free trial for my app for the first 30 days. So I wanted to like prove to myself that it made sense for me to utilize that app, especially if I was going to pay for it. So I'm gonna go to analytics. Let's go to let me see. I started using the app in 2020 in like October 10/1/2020. So I don't know what day, but let's look. So TapCart is my mobile app there. I made $190,515 from my mobile app. That's that. Uh, how do you feel about utilizing Fashion Go dropshipping to offset inventory costs and test inventory type? So I haven't used it, but I also have not had heard great responses about the dropshipping options. So I don't have much experience with it myself. What's your advice on starting ads for someone brand new? Clarify a budget that you're willing to spend just for awareness. Like, don't go into it like, I expect this money to produce money. How much can I afford to spend to reach people? Period. But then I would also say, think about what the next step would be in your process. This would be more so like creating a sales funnel. So if I use the ad to attract you, what am I using to re-engage you? I would recommend thinking about that. But definitely choose a budget that you're willing to, like, I don't want to say spend. I think spend is the wrong word. I mean, lose. I don't want to say lose because that seems like the wrong word to use. But most people see it as losing money. So think about how much money you can afford to like give away as for advertising. What would you say for someone in regards to starting a handmade earring business ideas? I would say marketing wise, I would look for other brands that sell handmade jewelry, not just like any specific type of jewelry, but like handmade jewelry, and pay attention to like how they market it. Because even if you think about like, I think about like, this is extreme, but I think about Chanel, for example. I forget who just got married. Somebody just got married and she wore a Chanel dress for her wedding. And the Chanel dress was like handmade, like beaded, all the things. And you might be thinking, like, well, my brand is not on the level of Chanel, but I want you to think like my brand will one day be at the level of Chanel. I want my brand to be at the level of Chanel. And I would say pay attention to like how they talk about the fact that it's handmade. So do they say handmade or do they say hand woven? Do they say that it is that these are beads, or do they use some type of like descriptive word to describe the beads? Do they say colorful or do they say vibrant? Sophie, yes, Sophie Richie. How'd you know? Yeah. So I would say you want to research other brands that do that. That's the easiest way to get an idea of the direction to go, to find other brands that are doing exactly what it is that you aspire to do. I personally, for example, I look at Old Navy and I look at Skims. I want to have a business that operates at the momentum of Skims, but my actual like business like structure is more along the lines of Old Navy by way of like color and it being vibrant and more happy-go-lucky and things like that. So those are two brands that I look to a lot for marketing ideas and general direction. Is having a sale more frequently a bad thing? I intend to get rid of over inventory. No, if your intention is to get rid of inventory, then running the sale might do the job. 100%. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Do you promote your app over your email list or both? I promote my app to my email list all the time. Like literally in my emails, I put a banner that said download my app. So I don't promote either over the other, but I do promote my app within my emails. And I do that because my email I pay for every single month, but I can send as many push notifications that I want. And it's not going to affect the amount of money that I get charged by the app. But with emails, for example, my fee for Klaviyo goes up based on the amount of people on my email list. So I'd rather personally, at this point in business, I'd rather a bunch of people have my app downloaded on their phone and I can continuously market to them through my push notifications than for my email list to like continuously grow and potentially not have my revenue growing at the same time. How much inventory would you say is needed for a launch? No specific number. Depends on your goals. Janice, will conference be online as well? No, the conference is just in person. There's no virtual option. What can we expect to learn at the conference? So at the conference, you can expect to learn essentially how to make all the things that we've discussed today work together. So for example, I'm going to go for like someone who said that they haven't launched yet. if you have not launched yet, the number one thing that I would recommend you doing first and foremost is just clarifying what this business even is going to be. What do you sell? Who is it for? How you want to describe it? And then secondly, doing some market research. Who's doing this already? Who sells what I want to sell? Who serves the audience that I want to serve? All right, now that I got that, what's my goal? How much money do I want to make? And how quickly do I want to make it? Got it. Okay, now I need some inventory. What do I want to sell? Do I want to sell more dresses at $70 or do I want to sell less dresses at $70 and then more bottoms at $20 with corresponding tops at $10? And what quantity do I need so that my inventory value ends up being the amount that it needs to be to potentially make the money that I want to make? And then what about my profitability? How do I make sure that once I take the pricing into consideration and then all of my expenses, all the Shopify, the Klaviyo, all the apps that I've added to my website, the ads that I want to run, so on and so forth, the models I got to pay, the photo shoot I got to pay for. When I take all those things into consideration, how do I make sure that I still make a profit at the end of the day? And more specifically, the profit that I would like to make. And when and if things aren't working, what do I look at and what do I analyze to make a decision moving forward? Because you don't want to just stop. You want to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is what I need to change, or this is what I need to tweak. So we'll be basically talking about marketing, but then also sales, because they're two totally different things. What it looks like for you to attract people and create a strategy for visibility. And then also what it looks like for you to create a sales strategy. So making sure that all your marketing channels work together and are effective enough for you to drive the type of sales that you desire to make. Erica asks, what are your thoughts between personal assistant employee versus virtual assistant? So all of my employees for both my businesses are virtual, except for my husband. My husband is the only help that I have in person. My assistant is virtual. She's been my assistant for a little bit over 2 years at this point, and she's literally like my most valuable employee. I love her. I would take her to the moon and back if she asked me to. So I don't think that there's like one that's more valuable than the other. I think it's more so a case of like, do I need a do I need an in-person assistant to like do things tangibly for me? Or do I need, can I have virtual help and it be okay? Whew, okay, let's scroll to the bottom. What are your thoughts about introverts being a target audience? So I actually have a student that just finished my program, E-commerce Elementary. His whole business is built around people being an introvert. Like everything he sells is in relation to introverts. All his content is about being an introvert. And his content performs so, it's a man, by the way, his content performs so well. So at the end of the day, you can sell to anybody, no matter what their personality is. It's really about you having a brand strategy and a marketing strategy. Vanessa said, what if running a sale isn't working and getting rid of old inventory? So that would mean that the audience that you have does not want the inventory that you have, period, which means you need to get that content or that product in front of a new audience, or depends, two ways. So I always say, think about what you haven't done just yet. So for me, for example, when I decided I wanted to switch over to loungewear, I had tons of inventory that was not selling. The first thing that I did was rephotograph all the inventory with the new direction that I wanted my business to go content-wise. So I didn't say, you know what, I don't want this inventory no more. I'm gonna just try to sell it with what I got, and that's it. I literally said, okay, you got way too much inventory for you to be out here risking it, thinking that your content works. If you know that this is the new direction that you want to go in, regardless of this this product not being what you want to continue to sell, I do want my audience to start to see my business in the light that I want it to be seen in moving forward. So I literally rephotographed every single product that I had left over, and it took me some time. It took me days. I rephotographed every product so that it looked on my website, at least, how I wanted my brand to visually be seen. And then I literally was just like, check out our new website. I redid my whole website. I've never hired anybody to do my website. It's always been me. Redid the whole website and said, check out our new website. People literally started purchasing full price merchandise, just rephotographed. Look, the content looked better. Cool. Once I got to a point where I was tired of trying to sell it at full price, then I put it on sale. My email marketing helped me push that inventory out because I was targeting people who looked at the content, who had looked at the product, added the product to their cart, things like that. I ran like a consistent ad, probably for like, I don't know, 3 weeks straight, where I promoted that everything on my store was probably like $20 or less or something. So I always, again, analyze what I have and have not done in the situation and what I could do before I take the leap of putting it all on sale. And then if all else fails, then I have to tell myself, okay, either I got to spend some time and money to put this product in front of a new audience, or I got to just wipe my hands clean of it and say, I'm moving on. So for example, I have 2 bags of inventory sitting at the front of my office that are going to get donated to a shelter because I've done all that I can and am willing to do to push it out. And now just getting my tax write-off so I can move on with my life. So that is that. Do you recommend us being in a certain place in our business for the conference? No, I don't. I recommend just being in business. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily for someone who is like teeter-tottering between, like on the fence of starting. Like if you're like, I don't know if I want to start this business or not, I would not recommend. I would recommend like people who are serious about their business. Literally, I think I mentioned on the sales page, like this conference is for people who are like, I want to know what it's going to take for me to make either my first 6 figures or my next 6 figures. Like people who are like, I want to have my first 6-figure year, or I want to have my first 6-figure month. People who want to figure out like where the gaps are in their business and how to make what they have already work better, and also what they need to add to what they have thus far to make it run more seamlessly. What do you think about coming soon on pre-orders when you are starting out? I think everything is worth trying. That's my motto in life. Try it all and see what you get as a result of it. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more and then we're gonna get out of here because now I'm getting congested, Lord. Oh God, I hate when that happens. Let's see if I can find one more. Do you believe Meta has made it more difficult to get engagement on Facebook and Instagram, even if you use ads versus organic content? Yes and no. So I think that it really depends on how good of a job you were doing in the first place. I truly believe that if your brand was performing pretty well organically and through paid advertising prior to all its updates and the iOS update and things like that, it definitely took some tweaking and changing things around to like not necessarily get it back to the point of where it was before, but to make it work. But I will say, like, the people that didn't have a strategy to begin with and it wasn't working, like, more so like you didn't have an identifiable audience that worked. You didn't already have content that you knew or know is going to perform in paid advertising, then it's so much harder to make that work now than it was back then. So I guess I would say it depends really on how much data you already have on your at your disposal. That's really going to like help it to keep moving forward. It's definitely harder, but I don't think it's like impossible at this point. In a recent post, you said you were changing the name of your boutique. Yeah, I'm going to change the name of my boutique. I really want to remove the name or the word boutique. And I don't know if I'm going to keep brazen. It's definitely a thought, but I want to remove the word boutique because I don't want my business to be known as a boutique. Yep. Will this be in the membership to view later? Potentially. I guess I probably could add it in there, huh? Yeah, I have to see how big the file is because the membership won't let me add certain things when the file is too big. Oh, okay, guys. Oh, y'all like brazen? Okay, thank you for saying that. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. There are literally 146 of y'all still here. Thank you for sticking it out with me. If you guys have any questions, yes, there will be a replay. If you have any questions or at all, send me a DM on Instagram. And I'll put a little question box on my stories if anybody has any questions that I didn't get to this evening. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions about the conference, the membership, anything like that, let me know. And I will see you guys later. Good night. Bye.